Yeah. For the ones they try to silence,
Speak truth.
for the poor, the broken, the forgotten,
Stand tall.
I speak. Yeah, I walk, got my steps.
Guide me.
Open my mouth, I'ma ride for the voiceless. Pray to Yahshua, he gon' guide all my choices. Stand for the needy, plead for the poor. Kick down the system, open heaven's door. Open my mouth, no fear in my tongue.
Fearless.
Walk in the fire, but I'm never alone.
Never alone.
Judge righteously, truth gon' shine. This light in me can't be confined. They said stay quiet, but I got too much fire. Spirit of Yahweh, take me higher, higher. Every word I drop, cut sharper than a sword. Proverbs in my chest, I'ma speak for the Lord. From the block to the courtroom, chains on they wrists. Brothers fighting battles that the system won't fix. But the word said, plead the cause, never switch sides. When the poor get crushed, that's when real ones rise. I'm chosen, I'm focused, I bleed for the hopeless. Faith in Yahshua, man, my heart stay open. No fear in my step, true tattooed on my soul. I'm a soldier for the people till my story get told. Open my mouth, I'ma ride for the voiceless. Pray to Yahshua, he gon' guide all my choices. Stand for the needy, plead for the poor. Keep down the system, open heaven's door. Open my mouth, no fear in my tongue.
No fear.
Walk in the fire, but I'm never alone.
Never.
Judge righteously, truth gon' shine. This light in me can't be confined. This ain't just rap, this survival talk. Real. Every line I spit is a revival walk. Seen the trap eat souls, but y'all gave vision. Now I'm building up the kingdom, breaking mental prisons. For the kids with no hope, mama shedding their tears. I speak life in their ears, let them know he hears. I ain't been into the pressure, I ain't bowing to greed. My assignment is justice, I'ma plant that seed. Judge righteous, plead the cause, that's the mission. Every setback is fuel, every scar my commission. I'm a voice for the ones that the world try to kill, but the spirit of Yahshua got me standing still. They can't buy my silence, can't buy my soul. I walk with the meek, but my spirit bold. I open my mouth, I defend what's right. In the name of Yahweh, I'ma fight this fight. Open my mouth, I'ma ride for the voiceless. Pray to Yahshua, he gon' guide all my choices. Stand for the needy, plead for the poor. Kick down the system, open heaven's door. Kick it down. Open my mouth, no fear in my tongue. Fearless, walk in the fire, but I'm never alone. Never. Judge righteously, truth gon' shine. This light in me can't be confined. Shine bright. They fed us shadows, called it wisdom. Poison wrapped in golden scriptures. Told us follow kings in robes. But the throne was built on blood and whispers. My people walk in circles, trapped in systems, blind traditions. But light don't ask permission. It splits the veil with precision. I'm not here to comfort sheep, I'm here to expose the beast. I'm master preacher with silver teeth that feast on souls while children weep. This ain't religion, this is war. Revelation dripping raw. Truth is armor, truth is sword. Light reveals what darkness hoards. Light creates understanding. Truth cuts deeper than a blade. Yahshua open in the scroll. Every lie they told will fade. Darkness tried to claim my strength to stand. Now I speak like thunder rolling, judgment fire in my head. They fear the voice anointing, they fear the mind awakened. They fear the name Yahweh, cause it shakes their foundation. This kingdom made of sand will drown beneath the tide, but the remnant of the chosen stand unbroken, sanctified. I see the disguised as light, selling hope and preaching night, but light don't need no temple walls, it burns within eternal sight. So if my voice becomes a target, know the arrows only spark it. The more they try to silence truth, the louder Yah's flame ignites regardless. The light ain't gentle, it ain't soft, it exposes, it reveals, it exposes illusions, it makes the blind see, and it makes the wicked run. Yahweh said walk in it, and I will even if the whole world stands against me. Like creates understanding, truth cuts deeper than a blade. Yeshua open in the scrolls, every lie they told will fade. Darkness tried to claim my soul, but Yahweh gave me strength to stand. Now I speak like thunder rolling, judgment fire in my hands. Let there be light, let there be truth, let there be freedom, and it shall be.
All right. Hold on a sec, y'all. Are you kidding me right now? All right. So what I can do is I can. There we go. Hold up. Sorry about that, y'all. All right. Looks like that I'm still. Y'all let me know if I'm coming in just fine. We're going to get this ball rocking and rolling, y'all. All right. Listen. So we've been making some moves, as you can see. All right. And we getting ball rocking and rolling. I'm literally streaming off of my backup camera, but we're going to dive deep into this thing here today. Listen, y'all, it was some heavy information that dropped that honestly, we really need to review. My thing is this, right? When it comes to these particular leaders, when it comes to these sects, these groups, honestly, exposing the truth behind reality. What is the perception of reality? Reality, what's real? What is tangible? What can you see? What can you touch? Is it the emotion? Is it the physical desire, right? Is it the physical thing that actually manifests in reality? What are we looking at tangibly, right? Well, we're here right now talking about a certain individual who was recently exposed. Pastor Rufus exposed Dowell in regards to the things that he's done in regards to widows being taken advantage of. Now, this thing right here is a huge deal for only a few reasons, y'all. And those reasons are about to be exposed here once again today. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive into an in-depth understanding biblically as to what the truth really is in regards to the situation, how weighty it really is. It truly is a weightier matter. And I believe that all of Israel should be diving into this and actually trying to hold and assess where is the accountability? Where's the accountability for our elders who are in this particular ministry? What are our accountability for the individuals who are a part of this Hebrew movement, Israelite movement, culture, whatever it may be? Accountability. Each and every single last one of you should be looking forward to holding individuals accountable for literally swindling individuals out of their money, using threat of coercion, using tactics of intimidation in order to acquire mass amounts of wealth for filthy lucre. Let's shed more light on that right here today, right now, here on the Warsheep podcast, where we believe that light creates understanding. Understanding creates love. Love creates patience, and that patience will create unity. So let's get unified in the spirit, y'all.
Preaching hate when he says, I'm not going to let the wolf eat me anymore. If the wolf comes in here, next time he comes in here, I'll do whatever I have to do to keep him off my back. Is the sheep violent or is the wolf the violent one? He wasn't teaching hate. He was teaching common sense. You know, somebody's knocking you over the head, stop them. Do whatever you have to do to stop them. You know, the ones that were knocking him over the head were afraid of the fact that he might swing back. So they said, no, he's teaching hate. He's violent.
All right, y'all. Y'all gonna have to bear with me here. I got a couple things that I'm doing, so I'm being sure that I'm set up appropriately. Let's get into this thing. We're gonna go ahead and start with some shout outs, man. Shout out to everybody that's here in the building right now. Let's go ahead and give our salute to you all for showing up here. Let's go ahead and stand for truth.
Carry on.
And carrying on Major Pain. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and get to this thing real quick, y'all. All right, my brother. Okay, Feast of Tabernacles 2027. Feast of Tabernacles 2027. Welcome in, my brother. The temple is us and the leader. Absolutely. Hallelujah. Yet a den of thieves. That's right. Den of thieves. We love all to repent. Yeah, repent. Turn, confess, and move on. That's right. That's right. Right. Mama Shay, season to journey. Welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. My mother, Mama Shay, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Bless you and shalom, shalom. Brother Weaver, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Bless you and shalom, shalom, shalom. At least you need to hear the speech of the leader. Absolutely. We need to continue on this, man. I'm trying to tell you, my brother, my good brother, the righteous brother Odell in this joint. Bless you. Shalom, shalom. My brother Tony, welcome in, brother Tony. Bless you and shalom, shalom. Good to see you in this thing. Got the sheep, the ram in the chat already, man. Salute to you, brother Tony, and bless you. Shalom. All right. Sister Rose, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Bless you and shalom, shalom. All right. Mama Clay, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. My good mama. Mama Clay, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. All right. We got Sister Rose. Brother Timbo Slice. Brother Timothy, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Bless you and shalom, shalom. Bro Vic, my brother, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Bless you and shalom, shalom. Bless you and shalom, shalom. Hallelujah. Let's go ahead and get into this thing. Let's get this ball rocking and rolling, y'all. I believe I got everybody in the chat. And shout out to all of you, the rest of you who are not commenting just yet, but you're here to watch the show. But listen, we're going to dive into this thing, y'all. I'm on my backup camera, so don't think. Yeah, we're going to dive into this thing, y'all. We're going to get this thing rocking and rolling. My thing is this, right? When we're dealing with individuals like this, okay, family, we got to know that the tactics and the woes of Satan is going to be everything they need to be. They're going to try to influence, entice, and to literally get you out of everything you worked hard for. They see it as an opportunity, right? Individuals who want to do and trespass against you, who want to do wickedness, they see these as opportunities. Whatever opportunity arises for them, right? They look at those opportunities and they want to take advantage of those opportunities. When an opportunity comes to be able to amass yourself a great amount of wealth, when the opportunity comes to where you have people who are submitted to your authority, who are submitted to you and will do whatever you say at any whim, right? Who are willing to go to prison for you, who are willing to lay down their life for you, right? This right here is a great threat, and it's a potential, right? Not only is it a great threat, it is honestly something that will entice them, will influence them, right? To be able to take it in the wrong direction. We're talking about individuals who actually exercise the right to take advantage of the saints, individuals who are seeking spirituality, seeking to be holy, set apart, are seeking to reconnect with their spiritual roots in order to reconnect having a more divine line, a divine intervention. They're looking for something spiritual. And these are some of the most vulnerable individuals that you can meet. Like I said, Pastor Rufus recently exposed some of these, exposed Dowell in regards to his wickedness and the things that he's done to take advantage of this particular widow. I want to dive a bit deeper into this thing, peel back some of the layers and really show some of the real problems that we're facing here, because I think that the problems are going to be what they are regardless. But the individuals who are stepping in, right, showing up and to shed light on the real issues, to warn others, to save others from the same heartache. These are the real people to come in. These are the true heroes in the story. These are who they are, right? They need to have honor and credit where it's due. And I believe that this widow here who stood for something, who gave Dowell an opportunity to confess what he's done and to make it right. I commend her. I applaud her. I do all of that stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Because she did not have to do it. I applaud her. I believe that she did a wonderful job in addressing Dow in a private. And this is a sister who had to stand alone in this situation, this matter. She was a widow, and she was over there with my brother Robert. You understand what I'm saying? For a while. And can you believe it? All the bills in her name. All the bills in her name? Seriously? Wow. So you put the bills in her name to where she was obligated to take care of this stuff. That is wild. You shouldn't adhere to. So she didn't really have a choice to leave, right? She didn't really have a choice to be able to remove herself because her name was on everything. And so something goes down the drain, it's going to wind up either on her credit or she's going to have to pay for it later. And so, effectively, you cemented her in her position by putting her name on everything. That's crazy. Let's dive deep into this real quick, y'all, because I want to peel back some layers real quick. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go based on timestamp. We got Pastor Rufus here, who honestly was brought this out and did a wonderful job executing this. Honestly, y'all did a great job. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into it. Let's go ahead and share this screen up real quick. Here we go. All right, y'all. Let's get into it. Our first timestamp we're going to start with real quick because I want to start with 2633. Let's get into the actual testimony. I want to start with 2633, y'all. Let's start with 2633. 26. Let's get to it.
Shalom, Pastor Dowell. I pray this email finds you well and at peace. I'm writing to you regarding half of my children's inheritance that you requested during Passover of 2024. That's very critical, y'all. He requested this. She didn't just free will give it. He requested half of what she had. Listen to that, y'all. Now, I want someone to find in that book where we're supposed to request the money from widows. I want you to find it. You ain't. Quit wasting your time. Right there, strike one. Let's go. At that time, I was under duress. Why would she not be? I'm not going to keep stopping. I'm going to read this, y'all. I was under duress, still grieving the loss of my husband. I was about to move again to another community. I was coerced into selling my home because I am a widow and the saints wanted me and children to live with them. Since then, the children and I were moved from community to community 4 times within 1 year. It was difficult for all of us to readjust to each community. That is a 100% accurate truth. She was in North Carolina, moved to Georgia, from Georgia moved to Tennessee, in Cleveland with Elder Brent, and then moved to Georgia East. That's 4 communities in 1 year she was on. You can imagine what that sister was under after losing her husband and being coerced to sell the home because the saints are saying, we want you here with us. Sell that house, bring those proceeds in here so you can live with us here on this land. Let's continue. Now that we are in a stable environment, the children will need their inheritance back. The proceeds from the environment, the children will need their inheritance back. The proceeds from the sale of the house should have been used to set up a trust fund for the children's future. As you stated in our conversation, and she quoting down now, the children are still growing and need clothes, school supplies, food, etc. And the ministry takes care of the widows. This is a quote from Charles Woodrow Dow to our beloved sister, Karen. I'm not sure what you needed the money for, but you also stated that you, and this is another quote of Dow, you are a good steward of money and to trust you. We've all heard Dow say that dumb stuff. It's clear he's not. All right, yeah. Let's read on. There's a couple more paragraphs here. I've never received any funds from the ministry. I've always provided to the ministry through tithes and offerings to the hub. She got very specific and said, I've always given money to the hub. Not North Carolina, not Georgia, not Cleveland, but she said I was giving to the hub. Listen close. And whatever community I was living in at the time. So she did give money at the place. She might even gave us, I don't even remember though. I don't even remember. She's going with us for a month in Georgia. But I do know she definitely had to give in North Carolina, y'all. She's living there with them. And I know she gave in Georgia East. And I'm sure she gave at you know what? I know for a fact she did. Because one of the things that Elder Brent did, when that community dissolved and everybody decided to leave, he had a record of every single offering, every single gave, right? And for the majority of them, like 95% of them, he gave it back. Of course, Karen was in that 95%. He gave them every dime back. Now, there were a couple brothers, if I'm not mistaken, that he didn't give their offerings back because he had set them up with like big trucks and equipment for their businesses and stuff. And he had way more invested in them than the monies they had given to the community. So he didn't feel led to give them back. But everybody else that just gave like basic tithes and offerings or something offering, he gave it all back to them.
All right, y'all. So y'all heard what he had to say in regards to this particular situation so far, right? You heard what he had to say so far. And I would say that, you know, I'm kind of perplexed. I'm kind of confused as to why Dow would approach the situation and entice her, influence her, whatever he was thinking he was doing in regards to her giving up her inheritance, her children's inheritance, right? In regards to her being a widow. I am very confused by that. Because from my understanding, right, that he was this righteous man who done no wrong, who have not done anybody any wrong. And he is 100% clear and righteous and holy and set apart, and the full and complete authority, as he wants to say during his sermons, and putting himself in the seat of Moses, a prophet, things like that, right, would be the next thing that he would want to come out with. Is he's a prophet, he's prophesied, he's foreseen the shutdown or the blackout, whatever it may be, right? The what does he call it? Whatever, that he orchestrated himself, where he orchestrated the pruning of his ministry, because it is his ministry. Forgot what he even calls it, man. Right? I forgot what he even calls it, y'all. But my thing is this, right? We know that Dowell is somebody who feels how he feels. And I don't need to tell you how he feels, y'all. He'll tell you himself how he feels about this.
And I would never repent. Never repent.
A destructive behavior. The behavior is completely destructive. And I believe that when we're doing what we're doing here to expose the truth, this is an honorable thing to do, regardless on how some of you may feel who still are dealing with what we would like to call Dowell syndrome. Okay? A lot of you who are still dealing with this particular syndrome, right? Believe that these types of things should not be discussed, that we should not continue to bring forth the tangible proof and evidence that somebody is in wickedness, that somebody has done wickedness in regards to straightway. This Dowell syndrome is something that you would prefer to keep under wraps because you're still suffering from removal of the Dowell syndrome. You're still suffering from the removal. But that's not none of our problems, y'all. We don't have to have that as a personal issue. What we need to do is, who's called to the work to expose the evil, the wickedness, and shine light on some of the darkest places, we need to continue to stay the course. Push the course, stay on mission, stay on task. Don't allow the naysayers, don't allow these individuals talking about yada, 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 talk, whatever, right? Stay the course. Stay with the truth. One thing's for sure, that nobody can ever come forth and say, hey, he swindled me out of cash. He swindled me out of money. He's taking advantage of me. No one can say that about myself. I haven't heard anyone say it about Pastor Rufus. I haven't heard anyone who's come on this platform and actually spoke up on Dowell. I haven't heard anybody get accused of those type of crimes, taking advantage of other saints, regardless of what's going on in their life, right? But my thing is that when you get desperate and you start to multiply your house, you start to grow how many women you have, you start to get sort of greedy. When you start to indulge in the things of the flesh, you really start to make a lapse of judgment. Your judgment can seriously get clouded. You can start making really poor choices and decisions. A lot of who you truly are in your character, right? And your heart's heart will start to reveal itself. The moment you start to get more notoriety, more fame, more resources, money, individuals with absolute power corrupts absolutely. And what are we witnessing here? Somebody who's corrupted absolutely. Let's go ahead and go into the scriptures, y'all, real quick before we move on to our next timestamp. Let me get this out, because I swear I opened up my blue. Oh, I sure did. I already got it open. All right, let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. We're going to grab it. I want to go over Exodus 22:22. Let's go over Exodus 22:22, y'all. Exodus 22:22. All right. Set this thing up. All right. Exodus 22:22. Okay. No, that's not what I want you to do. I want you to zoom in for the people. All right, we got Exodus 22:22. Am I in the right spot? There we go. So y'all can see it better. All right, Exodus 22:22. Let's get it. Ye shall not afflict any widow. Ye should not afflict any widow. or what? Fatherless, a child who is without a father. You should not afflict them. You should not afflict any widow. You understand what I'm saying? If thou will afflict them in any wise, and they cry out, and they cry at all, and they cry at all unto me, I will what? I will surely hear their cry. So while this sister is crying out and she's saying what she's saying, the Most High Yah said, I will surely hear their cry. If you're afflicting them, if you're causing damage, if you're doing things to hurt them, right? So where she's got to beg, well, she's confused as to why she's been requested to give half of what she earned from her for her children's inheritance. Why do I need to give that up, right? And she's confused by this, but in coercion and threat of coercion, she gives it to Dow anyway. You see the amount of power of influence that it takes to entice someone to do something that wild. And I promise you, Dow knows that a woman is easily to be manipulated like this. I don't blame her at all, even though she blamed herself and repented for it, which is totally fine, right? Because the Most High will see that as a just sight, right? You understand what I'm saying? He'll see that as equitable. He will see that and bless her even further. But my thing is that it's not her fault, because she is the weaker vessel, and she entrusted in a man who she should have been entrusting in, who was supposed to be trustworthy, proving himself not to be, right? But my thing is this, right? She trusted, and she felt like she's being taken advantage of. But my thing is that he proceeded to do so. I'm not too sure as to what Holy Spirit will guide you into that. Y'all tell me how the Ruach HaKodesh would guide you into a manipulation move like this, right? And that's what I'm trying to understand right now. How could the Holy Spirit guide you? If you're walking with the Spirit and the Spirit dwells within you, you're casting out devils, right? Things like that. You say you do that. You say you do it. You say you heal the sick. You cleanse the, you raise it. You say you do all the things. You understand what I'm saying? All the bells and the whistles is what you give and what you do and who you are. You understand what I'm saying? We got to clock it every time. Every time you come on, we got to clock it. Every time we got to clock it. You understand what I'm saying? Because you keep reminding us that you're just this all knowing and all saying and all healing and all delivering guru. But you're stealing from widows. You're being a shyster, undercutting a man's own household and trying to influence and entice the woman to leave that man because you don't agree with his lifestyle, because you don't agree with the way he lives life, because you don't agree if he has to come through a hardship or a struggle and that woman's supposed to be there to help him, to be his helpmeet until he can get himself back in the right position. It is not your decision to make, because last I checked, Dow, you were funded. You were funded by an older Caucasian gentleman who bought your land for you, who funded you, and who ruled and reigned over Straightway Truth Ministries before it became Straightway. That's what was taking place. R.G. Stair was the one who ruled over you, period. When he came down to that land, you had to sit your tail down and allow him to take up and take speech and to preach the sermon. This very man who is a known now PDF file. So the stock that you're coming from, the stock that you've been released from, you had to have identified something as somebody who was labeled as little Stair or little prophet underneath Stair. You spent a lot of time with the man. You had to identify some speech, some language, discern the spirit. Which one did you do? Or which one did you fail to do is what I would like to know. Or did you just mind your business enough to where it exposed itself, and then now you chose an opportunity? Now, from what I'm understanding in regards to that situation, and that was a prime opportunity for you to what? Do a land grab, to be able to seize power and control, because RG Stair was the one in control, and his what? Police, his court fees had to be paid and funded by Straightway Truth Ministries during that time, before it became Straightway, before it was a Christian assembly. Okay. But before it became Straightway Truth Ministries, right? Before he started to get into the doctrine of Hebrew Israelite, right? Which I believe he just adapted the culture so he can be able to tap into a new market. I'm going to reveal the reason why I believe it. I believe it's just another tactic, another cult tactic that they used back in those times. He adapted into Hebrew Israelite culture, Hebrew Israelite, right? Black Hebrew Israelite, wanting to be sure that he understood to receive all, right? Which the book supports that, but it's an opportunity, right? So one thing that we cannot be upset about is Dow being an opportunist. But we can come down with real judgment. But we can be able to identify when somebody is wicked through that. You understand what I'm saying? He's an opportunist. He took an opportunity to become an Israelite, to claim to be an Israelite. It was an opportunity to teach a new doctrine, to preach a new doctrine, to entice a new market to come forth and give them all his wealth. And he was being effective in that, was he not? Y'all will have to judge him in that, because the truth is what the truth really is. Yes, you did. You adapted Hebrew Israelite culture. You learned as much as you could about it in order for you to have your way, like it's McDonald's or is that Burger King? Whatever one of those places. You understand? This is what you wanted. You wanted to have it your way. So when I say this, right, I say it with all clarity, in all honesty. This is wild. Let's continue, y'all. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next thing. My thing is this, right? Pastors are stewards. They are not owners of the flock. They are not to lord over them. You understand what I'm saying? You know, moreover, it is required in stewards that a man be what? Be found faithful in all that he does, being faithful in it. When you hear this widow crying out in regards to the money that was given, that was a part of her children's inheritance, in which Dow lent no ear towards her. He completely ignored her. You know why? He was too busy going to DR during the height of the honestly, the I'm trying to weigh my words on this one. During the height, in some of these times he's going over to DR. This is some of the more popular times that people are doing the oldest labor known to man. Women are, a lot of people, right? Yeah, would say like it's work, you know, the S work. You know what I'm saying? And we can only speculate that, right? But we can identify when somebody is taking this many trips to the DR, right? And they love it there. And we understand the history and the culture behind, you know, someone they chose to take on as a wife. Then we can say that there's reasons for them to be there. But my thing is that during one of these trips, either to the DR or to whoever else, Jamaica, wherever it may be, a lot of that must have been funded by this widow. Because if you still had that inheritance money, if you still had those funds, those resources, you would gladly give it to her. You would gladly compensate her or give her what you could. But you chose not to give her anything, right? And which we ought to be what? As you calling yourself a pastor, okay, you ought to be what? Faithful, found faithful in everything you do. And that, let's go over to 1 Corinthians, y'all. Let's go to 1 Corinthians real quick. 1 Corinthians 4:2. 1 Corinthians 4:2. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 4:2. All right. Moreover, it is required in stewards that a man be found faithful. Well, you have been found not to be faithful in what you've been doing. So can you truly call yourself it's not about being a man of Yah, because anybody can be a man of the Most High, right? You know, but you call yourself meaning you're the one and only head honcho, creme de la creme, top shelf, the man of Yah, leading the pack for all men who strive to be and to pursue the heart of Yah. So since you call yourself the man of Yah, right? Our beloved brother Paul said what? That you are required to show yourself to be a great steward. That man, who will judge this? According to our blood brother Paul, who would judge this? Man should find you to be that, to be faithful, in what you're doing. So that means that she could rely on you. That means that when that widow asked you for something, you'd provide it. That means that when that widow asks you for that inheritance money, guess what? You do the best you can to respond to her. And if you spent some of it, get her what you didn't spend, and then put whatever on top of that, or that you just provide what she's asking for. For a steward, right, is to be faithful. If a so-called the man of Yah is to be found faithful, this is the type of actions he would do. This is what he would pursue for somebody who's faithful. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody who's supposed to be the man of Yah, supposed to be a steward, supposed to be that spiritual goal for individuals to reach. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a bit sad to hear that you're taking advantage of someone, ignoring their emails, just as you ignored mine, right? So you're definitely ignoring hers. You're ignoring her letters, her emails, everything that she wrote. And this is a ticking time bomb, Dowell. It's a ticking time bomb. No wonder. Maybe you guys definitely did some seances or something like that, right? In regards to trying to get us all over here fighting amongst each other. Because this ticking time bomb was about to drop, and you wanted to do the best you could to be sure you discredit the voices that would be most powerful in vanquishing you and destroying your ministry with this ticking time bomb, in which you're literally taking advantage of a widow. Can y'all believe that? So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that you would go through great lengths. I'm not surprised that you're flying monkeys like Michael, bro Mike or Michael. You understand what I'm saying? Karatazar, karate. I'm not surprised that these flying monkeys, undercover brothers, you understand what I'm saying, would come through and want to be sure that they had your back. In a time like this, where something was going to drop and this nuclear bomb would leave everything desolate. The exposure, the level of exposure of your unrighteousness. So I wouldn't be surprised. So let's go ahead and get to this, right? Link in the description, right? Link in the description. I believe that I have Pastor Roos's link in my description as well, if you guys want to reach it in entirety. But we're going to go back to the video here real quick. I got another timestamp I want to share with y'all. So before we move on, we're going to get into this other timestamp. But I'm not surprised, y'all. Honestly, when I sat here and I did what I needed to do, man, I guarantee you, before I came on, that's why I had to come on a little bit later, because I had to go run and do my investigations, y'all. And so that's what I'm saying, though. And they seem to have found you out. Hold on, wait. Let me get it back up. Okay, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and get to our timestamp 35:45. Let's get to it. Boom. Here we go. Let's get it.
That's what he did. She said, I am no longer working, and I need that money back as soon as possible. As a widow, I need to be able to provide for my husband's children. And you said before, and that's the third time she quoted this man, they need food, clothes, school supplies, etc. Check this out, y'all. Please return the $105,008 back to my children so I can continue to homeschool and provide for their daily needs. Now, someone said, why such an odd number? He asked for half. And the sister was honorable. He requested half. He pressured her to give half. You're going to hear why. I'm going to read it to y'all, because she's going to tell Dowell why she gave it. But he requested it. She didn't offer it. Let me finish. And she gave exactly half of what she had. So that means she had $210,016 in her account. That's what she had. And she gave him half of it because he said, give me half.
Right. So he came and approached her and said that he wanted her to give him half. Now, my thing is this, right? When you want to, I guess, show yourself to be somebody who can be an asset, when you want to be sure that you're standing in proper standing, that you're able to do the best thing you possibly can with this new inheritance that just came in because your loved one, your husband, recently passed away, and this is what he left behind for you. Okay. Um, we have to understand that you would bring these things to individuals you would trust to be able to help you manage, to be able to help you, guide you, lead you, help you out with not only yourself, but also your little ones, because this is now she is a widowed woman, who in Israel, you're tasked to keep watch of, to take care of. I'm not surprised that she will come to you and tell you what she got, how much she got, because she trusted you. She trusted that you'd make the right decisions. She trusted that you were the man, so-called man of Yah. She trusted everything. And then what really breaks my heart about this situation is the fact that it's a woman who's been widowed, and she is so trusting, and you chose to take advantage of her. Think about what that does to one's faith. Think about how they will question the Most High as to why Yah would send someone who would betray their trust like that. You think about the level of betrayal that she would have to face and feel in regards to what he's done, and how Yah would feel about that. Now it is his fault. Now you turn and you feel that you want to blame the Father in regards to this situation. How this is destroying people's faith. This is destroying people's walk. This is diabolical behavior, destructive behavior, carelessly doing it without a care in the world, without even a care to be able to think that I'm going to lose one. You prefer to stick with the 99. And that one that's lost is a casualty of war for you, Dow. That one that's lost is a casualty of war for you, Dow. And you would much rather stick with the 99. It's a sad thing, man. When I thought about this, my heart goes out to her. And as I continue on with some things, listen, prayer is going to go up. But you got to understand the weightier magnitude of this. Praying for her to keep her faith. You wonder why people leave your ministry, Dow, and go back to the beggar elements of the world. You really, really, really make fun of these people. You clown these people for going back to the world after leaving your ministry. This is what you do. And then you make fun of them. Head covering comes off. They put on makeup, blah, blah, blah. But think about what your ministry has done to their faith. Think about the level of destruction and destructive behavior that you continue to exude even after they've left. You're still doing what you're doing. And then make it even worse by talking bad about them, wringing them out to dry. You're not doing anything but hurting the kingdom of Most High. Now, you have to understand there's reasons why hell would enlarge in itself. These false teachers, these false prophets, these false pastors, and all these other individuals who were prophesied about that we would deal with here this day, right, are individuals who also influence people with great faith to lose it. Influencing women with great faith to lose that faith and stick to a broader path because they thought they were on the narrow. They thought they were on the straight, the true straight way. And then they found out, they effed around and found out. And guess what? If that wasn't the way, if what they saw, that mirage, the building blocks of whatever he claims that he was in that ministry, right? That falsehood, if that was not the way, then what truly is the way? If he was not a true man of Yah, if he was not truly a man who was after Yah's own heart, who could be trusted in this day and age, right? Then who is trusted? These individuals don't understand. And the moment you're wrapped up into this ministry, the moment you're wrapped into this cult, guess what? You lose a sense of your own self, your identity. So that by the time you leave, there's this feeling of an emptiness, a void. that you feel you need to feel. You don't understand why you feel the way you feel. You just feel that way. You've lost all sense of yourself because you had to die to your old self, right? And be reborn in the name of Straightway, in the name of Tao. Be reborn. Let him shape you. Let him mold you into what he wants you to be. All while he's taking advantage of you. All while he's fleecing you. All while he's stealing from the widows. Taking advantage of the brothers who wish to labor for Yah. They still see your labor. Yah still sees it. He still sees your labor of love. Y'all can't, Dow can't steal that from you. You still will be blessed because you given your labor of love. But think about the level of wickedness you're helping build. We all have to repent from this. So do you. You do as well. But think about it. That's a blow to somebody's faith. That's blood on his hands. Do he care? No, of course not. Because he's just Dow, masquerading as a Hebrew, playing another role. And the reason why he wants to play this role is so he can build his kingdom, so he can live off the backs of the saints. And we know this for a fact. But let's continue, y'all. I know I went on a whole monologue.
Dog.
Let's continue, y'all. Let's go.
She quotes this. According to Sirach 33, verses 19 and 20, I should not have given you any portion of the children's inheritance. I have repented to the Father, and I pray that he will lay it upon you to return their inheritance. Please contact me via email or phone when you're ready to send me their funds. Is that not?
Come on now. How respectful can you be in that? Very respectful, very honorable way to be able to discuss this. But the problem is Dow doesn't have the money. He doesn't have the money to give this woman. They spent it up. They spent it all up. Like Pastor Rufus said, like buying marble floors, heated marble floors, installing a pool. Since he saw Pastor Rufus had a pool, I guess Dow decided, let me get a pool. He wants the house to be bigger because he done got the biggest house in Macon County. So he's got to get bigger than the other individual, right? Talk about a worldly man. Who cares about the kingdom on this earth? Who cares about the size of your home on this earth? The only thing you should be concerned about, Dow, is the size of your mansion in Shemaim in glory after death. That's what you should be concerned about. Not the size of your house here on this earth, not where you're living, not where you're stationed. From what I'm understanding, and people try to make it seem, oh, well, Brother Barak, man, I want with his what? I believe that Yeshua, Jesus the Messiah, had a family home, and that's all he had. Outside of that, he was homeless. So even if whatever was being said was true, which it's not, even if it was, I wouldn't be ashamed. I wouldn't be ashamed at all. My thing is this, right? Up until his death, Yeshua only had one family home. He had no, on record, he has no, his own dwelling place. No, he did not have that. So let's keep it a buck, right? Why are we so concerned about the size of the house? Why are we so concerned? And we want to make that to be the key focal point as to why you should join this man's ministry. Oh, I built this with my own two hands. We're going to get into what other people have built with their own two hands as well. You understand what I'm saying? Why does this matter? Why are these natural things, these physical things in this world matter to you? Because I'm going to tell you this right now, the way that he binds himself to the works of the world, the spiritual works, is what I'm concerned about for this brother. Anybody ever seen Dow perform deliverance? Anybody ever seen him cast out anything or do anything that's proven to be righteous that way? When's the last time has he done it? When's the last time he's actually done it? Was it before or after Satan came to him in a dream and offered him all of the kingdoms of this world? Was it before or after? When did he actually actively do it? Is what I would like to know. When did he actually lock into the spirit at some point? Right? That's what I want to know. But let's continue, y'all. Let's continue.
Y'all. No slander, no false accusation, no name calling, nothing out of pocket. Just, hey, you have requested that. That was an inheritance that their father left for them. I was wrong and repented for giving it to you, even though you requested it. Please give it back. And she gave him the scripture showing why he should give it back. She left her name and she left her phone number, just in case he lost her number. because he had it when he wanted that money. When she was going to move from Elder Brent's community and he didn't know where she was going to end up going, he wanted that money. And she was the only person there that he called. Now, he had his minions like Mir and Corey call all the other saints around there in Georgia, Alabama, and all the saints that was a part of Southern Assembly, they all got called. They went on a recruiting spree when this happened, y'all. Ask any of these people that was in South Carolina, that was at up there in Tennessee with Elder Brent, that was at Alabama, that was at Georgia East, or that was at Georgia, those 5 communities. Ask any of them if I called any of them when this went down. Did I call and recruit any of them to walk away from Straightway or to follow me as I follow Christ? Ask them. And then ask them, did y'all hear from anybody in the ministry, though, from Straightway? Did Pastor Me or Pastor Corey, one of the elders, or Pastor Dowell, or one of the wives? Did somebody call you?
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all joining me here for the live stream. Man, listen, don't forget to like this live stream. Share it, y'all. Share with who you can right now, all right? We need maximum effort, y'all.
Maximum effort.
Maximum effort, y'all.
Maximum effort.
And for those of you who are here just watching and hating on me, feel free to hate on me.
If there's any haters in here right now that don't have nobody to hate on, feel free to hate on me. Sit back there and say my hair ain't luxurious when you know it is, bitch.
Yeah. Let's get back to it.
I guarantee you 90% of the people got a telephone call. And then they want to top and brag. Well, nobody followed you. Well, if you put the tapes out, everybody would see why nobody followed me. I never gave anyone an option to follow me, sir. Never. But you won't put those tapes out. Because those tapes definitely won't bring a good light on you. That's why you put out the tapes we didn't ask for, which still makes you look like an asshole. Which still makes you look like a dumbass. Put out the tapes we asked for and let the people see that I told them in the 3 meetings I had with the Georgia brothers, once this go down, you can't come to me. You can't come to me. I got nothing for you to go to. I'm not going to leave here and start no ministry. I'm learning the wickedness from having a darn ministry. I'm learning it now. That's letter number 1 on September 7th, 2025. No response to that, y'all. Dow got it. Never responded. All right. Here is 2 weeks later. A little over 2 weeks later.
But yet, he's got plenty of time to get out here and beef. He's got plenty of time to talk trash about Pastor Roof. He's got plenty of time to run his mouth about me. He's got plenty of time to hear to BS and people who believe they know me, but they don't know anything about me. And my thing is this, right? The reason why they say what they say about my personal and private business is because they want what? They want me to spill the beans. You're not going to get it. But my thing is this. You got plenty of time, Dow, to get out here and run your mouth and say what you want to say, how you want to say it, but you don't got no time to address the widow who still believes in you, still has faith in you, still loves you, still believes that you're a pastor, still respects and honors you as a pastor, still does all these things. She's still coming to you and entreating you as an elder, right? And you don't have any time, not even a second, to address her concerns, to provide for her, to do what you claim that you do for her. It's sad. It's sickening. You understand what I'm saying? My thing is this, right? For somebody who boasts about things like this. Yeah, I've heard what you said about Sister Zakina, and I believe that it's extremely distasteful. I know that you believe that you want to call it tough love. I know that you want to call it tough love. Oh, I'm just trying to rebuke her so she can be set straight. Nah, bro. You enjoy having the free labor. You enjoy having her to do this work on the pennies of the dollar. You understand what I'm saying? For whatever little wages you give her, you enjoy that she's around to do so. So of course, you wouldn't let a man take her away from you. You want the labor. You want your wives to feel free to be able to do what they feel they want to do. Like having that luxury of a personal private chef, having the luxury of somebody who can be a nanny, who can double as a nanny, take care of the children, who's widowed. She's working to what? For you to give her whatever wages you give her, right? This is what you're doing. So my thing is that why would you want her to be given away? Or why would you want another man to take her on and to teach her the things that she needs to learn? A lot of times there must be a husband to teach her those things, right? To pour into her that way. And you're rebuking, you're reproving, your correction. Honestly, tell you the truth. It is destroying, it's demeaning, and it's keeping a dog, right? A wounded dog, loyal to you. Women can be manipulated in this way. You can do all the statistics and data you want to pull on this particular thing. There's been so many universities and psychologists who have proven the facts that if you were to do this to a woman, you are manipulating her psychologically into being loyal. A lot of times it can be considered to be, I believe, when your abuser and your oppressor becomes your obsession, or that you're loyal to that. It starts with an L. If somebody can help me out in the chat, it starts with an L, but it also ties back into Down syndrome. Now, we all know that this is one of the symptoms, and when somebody is destroying your self-esteem, beating you down, putting you under their heels, then we know for sure you're suffering from this syndrome, that you're suffering from Down syndrome, and which this right here is a hell of a thing to suffer from. It is a result of a so-called cult leader, right? A so-called pastor speaking bad and poorly of the subjects that he's over, that he's in control of, that he rules over. All of you, you men included, the ones that he berates, that he tears down, the ones that he, oh man, if you fat slob, whatever he calls you, all of you that's being tore down by this man, understand that you're under that spell. You're under that particular syndrome, right? This is what you're dealing with. This is what you're dealing with. Same thing with Zakina. Let's continue.
Because this is Sister Karen reaching out again on a Thursday, September 25th, around 3 o'clock. So a little over 2 weeks later. Again, it's referring to the widow's request. And she says, bless you, Pastor Dowell. Nothing but honor here. She ain't coming at Dowell sideways. She's trying to get Dowell to do what is right by the scriptures.
Absolutely.
This is request number 2, y'all. September 25th. Remember, the first was on September 7th. She said, this is my second attempt to contact you regarding my children's inheritance. Please see my original email below. I listened to your video about some saints are asking for their donations back. Please understand, that was not a donation. I did not voluntarily give you my children's inheritance. You told me to give it to you because people should give all. I only wanted to be obedient and submissive. Therefore, I gave it out of the fear of you calling me a Jezebel or comparing me to the biblical account of Ananias and Sapphira. So she's saying, I don't want to be a part of this ministry. And if I don't give all, then you're going to call me a Jezebel in front of everybody or compare me to Ananias and Sapphira, those that withheld. Now, again, she wouldn't have been that because Ananias and Sapphira actually had the option to not give. If you read the account, the thing that got them in trouble was the lie. They wanted you to believe they gave a certain amount and they didn't. It's like saying they sold it for 100,000, right? But they're telling you they sold it for 50, and they're giving you 50,000, making you believe they're giving 100%, and they're only giving 50. That wouldn't have been you, sis. But you think it would have mattered if Dowell got up in front of everybody and he would compare you to it the same way he compared me to Saul and I can't even think of all these people's names now. Nabal. I mean, he keeps changing every time his narrative don't fit. Every time his false narrative gets exposed, he called me something different. I'm the man that picked up sticks on the Shabbat because I was presumptuous and deserved to die. All because I talked to him like a man and I told him about his sin, which you keep saying nobody has. Lying dog. You would not have been Ananias and Sapphira. You had the choice, the option to give or not. And you weren't required to give all in that situation because you're a widow and you have children that need to be taken care of. And if that's the case, think about this. He's saying you need to give all, right? Why is he requiring half of you then? If it's really true that the widow was supposed to give all, why is he only asking for half then?
Because he just wanted it.
And this sister, no, I warned her about this. I got through channels and told her, this is what this man is going to do. Don't give this man your money. But the fear of this man coming on and publicly shaming her coerced her into doing this. She's telling him right here why she did it. Out of fear, she said, you calling me a Jezebel publicly in front of everybody. Look what he's been doing to Sister Zakina here lately, y'all. As much servitude that we have seen Sister Zakina give them, I would love to see what Straightway has done for her. And don't tell me you give her a weekly allowance. That girl works from sun up to sundown. You're still underpaying her. She ain't even making minimum wage with the money you're giving her. So don't tell me that's you being benevolent to Sister Zakina. Because when Sister Zakina needed things, you didn't provide them for her. Oh, I know about those too. Those receipts are going to come out as well. When request was made for Zakina to get things that she needed, you wouldn't take care of it. Talking about we give her. I'll give her that later. I don't want to get sidetracked, y'all. I got so many receipts, y'all. So many. But I got to wait. I got to be patient. I got to be understanding. I got to be compassionate. And until I get to go ahead from these people, I can't speak on them. I'm back to Sister Karen's second request from Dowell on September 25th, around 3 o'clock. She said, therefore, I gave it out of fear of you calling me a Jezebel or comparing me to the biblical account of Ananias and Sapphira. We are commanded to love our enemies. Please don't make me an enemy because I have told the truth. She's begging Dowell. I'm telling you the truth right now. Don't make me your enemy because of that. I gave that out of fear. I didn't want to give that. That was for my children. My husband worked hard to buy that house and to pay for that house. He did not want me to turn that money over to a man that didn't even know him, that didn't have enough love for him to even call his wife and check on her once her husband died. He didn't even show up to the funeral, y'all. You think that man would want his money that he worked so hard to pay for that house for to have somewhere for his people, his wife and his children to go? You think he would want that turned over to Dowell? Shame.
Wow.
Shame on every single one of you so-called leaders there that support him in this. From Gideon on down. And I'm starting with Gideon because she was in North Carolina with you. It started with you.
So my thing is why? Why wouldn't you show up for the funeral, but you're asking this widow for half of what he left behind? That's what is making it even worse. You have nothing of value poured into this particular family. Nothing of value poured into this man who left behind an inheritance for his children, who left behind a cushion for his wife during passing, a bit of a cushion, right? More than what a lot of people left anybody. You understand what I'm saying? Hopefully, my thing is this, right? I hope that she, that wasn't like a will situation, because hopefully it was just a trust that was set up, and maybe the trust, that's what he was able to leave behind. I'm just hoping that the government didn't get a hold of what he was leaving behind, and that's what she was left over with, right? Because after litigations, now she's only left with this much when she should have got that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's one of the things, especially when it comes to your insurance policies, putting them into a trust, and allowing that trust to decide what you're going to do with that inheritance. Don't allow litigations to decide that, because they're going to be more than likely stealing from you while you're trying to go through civil litigations, right? To be able to get that inheritance. But my thing is that, why wouldn't you show up to his funeral, Dow? Why wouldn't you show up to his funeral, pay your respects? You're supposed to be this leader, right? You'd be more than willing to fly one of your little boo-boos out to vacay, right? You'd be more than willing to fly somewhere where you desire. You understand what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you fly out to see this brother off, right? To get his brother his just due and respects. That right there off the rip, I would feel terrible to ask this widow for anything if I didn't show up for her in her times of need. If I didn't show up for her physically, if I didn't show up if I'm not carrying the casket. You understand what I'm saying? Which me personally, I don't want to be in a casket. Wrap me in some linen, right? Wrap me in some linen and stick me in like a little tomb or something. You know what I'm saying? I ain't nobody trying to do the casket thing. Wrap me in some linen, like Yeshua, wrap me in some linen. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is that you weren't there to support at all, but you felt comfortable enough to actually go and ask this widow for a dime. How are you feeling that comfortable? And you didn't show up in the most important hours, in the most important times when she's crying her eyes out, to at least be there to preach a sermon. Even a Christian pastor would show up to somebody's funeral to preach a sermon. You mean to tell me that we can't get a so-called Hebrew Israelite leader, pastor, to show up, right, for someone who passed away to preach a sermon? You can go everywhere else, and you can go hither and thou and fro. You can get the saints to fund you to go to Africa. But when one of them passes away, you could care goddamn less. If it ain't something that has something to do with your luxury, right? If it's too inconvenient for you, Dow, guess what? You're not going to be willing to do it. You're not going to be willing to do it. But it was convenient enough to go fly your little happy ass out to Kabir and get your little happy ass in his house, right? And try to sort out his marital issues. I wonder how many other brothers got that same Dow treatment, flying all the way out to Wisconsin to save this brother's marriage. I wonder how many people got that treatment. I sure the hell didn't. And if you did get that treatment, let me know. Because you know what? I want to be fair and just in what I'm saying. If any of you brothers out there who still rock and roll with Dow, if any of you brothers got the flying out to your house treatment, right? To come save your marriage, please put it in the chat. Put it in the comment section below. Do something. Let everybody know how great he is of a man. Because he didn't just do it for Kabir. He did it for you. He couldn't even fly out to go to this man's funeral, but he had it. He was bold enough when that woman showed up to the tabernacles, to the feast day. He couldn't even. My gosh, she came to him and he told her he wanted half of all that inheritance. I want half of that. Give me half. Couldn't even fly his happy ass out there to sit there for the funeral. Had no time set aside for that. But you can lock in some millionaires, huh? You can go fly your little ass out, grab you a couple NFL players, you feel me? Lock them in good, make them happy, give them a couple wives. Brothers are sitting there fiending for wives, right? Brothers are sitting there stressed out, trying to get a wife up in your ministry. And you too busy loading up the NFL players with wives before you can actually get the brother who actually deserves it, who been with you longer. Trying to make them happy, trying to appease their flesh, trying to get them to stick around for longer. Right? Yeah, we got shots fired because you know what? This is a load of crap. It's a load of BS. When we're taking a look at all of this junk, right? Y'all don't find any of this to be, I don't know, suspicious?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Y'all don't find that suspicious that he'd be willing to fly out to go and seek a beer in a time of need, but he was not willing to fly out to see a brother who passed away, but he'd be more than happy to ask for $100K. What type of clown show is this? What type of clown show is this? What are we witnessing in this time and hour? How does this make sense to defend? To defend a man who has plenty of time to fly out for his girlfriend.
I just want to let Pastor Pat, I love you. You gave me life. You gave me life.
All of a sudden now he gave him all this life and he loves them to the end of the earth. Can fly out. Thou catch flight for anything. You let me know, Kabir, if you need me to fly out for Jordan. Let me know if you need me there. Dow, we needed you there at the funeral. Where was you at? Where was you at the funeral? While the widow was crying her eyes out. The widow needed you to provide a few things. Where was you at, Dow? Where was you at? You asking Kabir to see if you, let me know if you need me. Like you gonna catch a goddamn flight all the way to Wisconsin just to address Jordan? When you got people passing away in your ministry and you're not addressing that at all? You're not even showing up to their funeral? How sad is this? How pathetic is this? How are you considered yourself to be a leader in Israel? How are you considered to be a leader? How did you gain and earn that title? That's what I want to know. Did you gain and earn it by fleecing the flock because you got a mouthpiece? How did you gain and earn this title as pastor, as leader, whatever it may be, but you don't do anything that a leader would actually do for the people who need it the most? Who needed the most? Who was in need the most? In fact, you choose to take advantage of them instead of being there for them while they're in their time of need. That's what makes a true leader a leader. Now, don't get me wrong. You may be doing some things to run your compound the way that you see fit. Everybody may be in order, but the truth is that those individuals who are on your compound is the only reason why you're able to run it appropriately, effectively, because they do the work. You just bark the orders. We've heard about the dining hall preaching, that we heard about the abusive dining hall preachings, the dining hall sermons and preachings, the ones that R.G. Stair did himself on his land, the ones that tear down the self-esteem, the ones that keep the dog submitted, right? The wounded dog, keep that wounded dog submitted. Those preachings, those sermons to keep them fully focused on you. We've heard about them. In fact, I've witnessed it. I've seen one of your dining hall preachings where you walked around the whole dining hall yelling, shouting, and screaming, slamming your hand on tables. I've seen it. And what did they do after you were done with your little tangent? Went right back to business as usual, went right back to normal. Nobody said anything to you while you're acting out, showing out. So my thing is this, right? A lot of you individuals who are full supporters of Dow, I'm pretty sure if you're somebody who's in a position of leadership, a close buddy of his or whatever it may be, maybe he'll show up for you. But a lot of you other little grunts, I promise you, he's not showing up for you. He's not cracking a plane ticket for you. He's not flying out to go and help you save your marriage after your wife is like not sure about this new coat that you discovered. He's not flying his ass out there trying to help you and meet the woman and stuff like that to keep her in your life, keep her in your family, to preserve you. He's not even trying to talk to her over the phone, really. Barely wants to do that. What makes you think that he is willing to cut for you in a major way? Can't even show up to a funeral, but he can ask for $100K. Man, them bars right there, yo. Them bars right there. You feel me? Can't even show up to the funeral, but he can ask for $100K. How sad is that, y'all? Y'all tell me, is that the makings of a great leader? You understand what I'm saying? Right? Is it the makings of a great leader? Is a leader supposed to conduct himself that way? Is a leader supposed to disregard the subjects, the people? A widow who gave over $100K, is he supposed to just ignore her after she's pleading and crying out to say, hey, I need my inheritance back. I need my children's inheritance back. I'm stable now. I got my feet on the ground. I can be able to make this work, but I need my children's inheritance back so I can be wise with that inheritance. Ain't that crazy? Giving money to Dowell's like giving money to the U.S. government. You ain't gonna do nothing but be in debt. That's all you're gonna do. You're not gonna do anything but be in debt. At the end of the day, you're gonna be in debt. And then once you go into debt, right, and you start to lose things, or your life is on the edge, you think he's showing up for you? I would be the first one to tell you that once I met him, he gave me $300 and he received in return thousands of dollars from me. You understand what I'm telling you? But when it came to me being in a time of need, he decided not to show up at all. Even when he was corrected in whatever misinformation was given to him, and which, of course, she was known to lie quite often. Even when the information was actually cleaned up and cleared up based on her own admission as well, he still didn't fix it. He still didn't go out and try to mend it, fix it, make it better. What does a brother need? I had to go out and grind for what I needed to do. I grinded. I worked hard to pick up the pieces. You understand what I'm saying? Only to be kicked out. I got kicked out for struggling. After moving from one city and planting roots in a brand new city, moved my business and everything closer to the saints in that city. Got a brothers who didn't show up, who failed to show up, right? Couple brothers who failed to show up. I lost some contracts that resulted in my business having a hardship. How can I provide like that? I had to restart. Like so many has to restart. You know how many times Trump then went bankrupt? Resilience is what's key. How many times does a righteous man fall? It's not about if you fall. It's about how many times do you get back up. So no, I'm not saying this trying to gain pity or sympathy from anyone. I'm saying this because I did what I had to do without the help of this ministry. And this ministry was not looking forward to helping me. Not a brother like me. I wasn't going to be able to be enough of an asset to them, right? I was not given enough resources for them. They have football players now. What they need with little old me. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not giving them mass amounts of money that these ex-NFL players are giving. A lot of them giving quite a bit of cash. You see it every live stream, every drunk talk. You see Mir dropping $500 into a super chat. You see it. That's not me, bro. I'm not giving $500 a week. I'm sorry. You feel me? You'd be lucky to get whatever. I'm not doing that. But the moment you come into a place of hardship, it's not gonna. It's this thing. It's where, as you can see, there's neglect. There's ignoring. When you got something that he wants, he'd be more than happy to pay attention then. Right? It's always about the money. That's right. Now, I want you guys to know this, right? Pastor Rufus, man, there's a last letter that she wrote to Dowell, or email that she wrote and sent to Dowell. You guys need to go over to Pastor Rufus's channel, check out his video, and you guys can listen to that last letter, last thing that was wrote. We're going to move on to the next thing because I want to tie this all in. You guys see what's going on. I want to tie this all in. I want to bring this all into a great close, but I want you guys to go check out this video on Pastor Rufus' channel. The link will be in the description box below, and it also will be in my shares, my post for the community post. I shared it so you guys can have access to it. But I want you guys, I'm going to switch gears here real quick because I want you guys to take a look at something here. And we're going to compare and contrast. The parallels are undeniable. Yes, it's a different package, but it's the same type of devil. You understand what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and get into the hot news. The hot news here that of all right, let's get into the hot news of the week, y'all.
Say hey, wave in the camera. What's your name?
Pay attention to these children. They are just two of hundreds of kids who were reported missing by their parents between 1993 and 2001. This footage shows where the kids were found. 400-acre compound isolated in a rural part of the state of Georgia, where normally no outsider is allowed entrance. The footage shows massive pyramids, a towering sphinx, and strange monuments. Inside, everyone appears happy, waving at the camera. But behind the smiles, these people are hiding a disturbing secret. When the local sheriffs investigated the missing children, they were met at the gate by armed men. While what really went on inside the compound remained a secret for decades, doctors in Georgia started noticing an alarming pattern. Multiple hospitals admitting dozens of children from the compound, as young as 11 years old, who were pregnant. The FBI quickly got involved, planning a raid on the compound to save the hundreds of children living behind the gates. But the FBI was afraid of having a repeat of the attack in Waco, Texas, a cult raid which saw dozens of young children murdered and sparked mass hysteria. The FBI would have no idea what they were up against until one 7-year-old girl escaped the compound before it was too late. She was the only one who could expose the truth.
All right, now, y'all. I want you guys to understand what you're watching right now. This is back in the 1990s, a particular cult that was around back then. I want you to listen to the parallels, directly parallel to Dowell and Straightway Truth Ministries. And I want you to listen to a lot of different cults who are modeled themselves after this same blueprint. I want you guys to listen in, hone in on the tactics that's being used. Now we have widows that's being taken advantage of. Tomorrow it could be a little one. It could be one of Yah's little ones that is also being manipulated, coerced, and taken advantage of, just as so many daughters of Zion, right, who were groomed into understanding how to be a wife, right? Groomed into these things by Straightway. Now, there's so many different cults and sects that do the same exact thing that Dowell does. I promise you now. Jehovah's Witness, a lot of these other religious groups, like I've told you time after time, it is not the atheist you got to worry about. It is not the atheist. It is not the Satanists that you need to be concerned with. At least they tell you the truth. They tell you who they are. That's as much truth as you need to know. You need to be concerned about the individuals who say that they believe what you believe. You got to always be suspicious of individuals who are showing themselves to be suspicious, who are showing themselves to bear fruit of taking advantage of people, of betraying people, whatever it may be. You got to pay close attention to those fruits, right? It's the ones that's within the camp. It's the sheep that are among you that look like sheep, but they're truly ravaging wolves. Those are the ones. Let's continue, y'all. Let's continue.
It's 1977 in New York City. 2-year-old Nikki is living with her mother in a small apartment in Queens, New York, a neighborhood riddled with crime and violence.
There was a lot of gangs. There was drugs everywhere. Heavy on crime, heavy on murder, especially on Bushwick Avenue.
Every day, as Nikki's mom leaves for work, she experiences the brutality of the streets of New York. She thinks about little Nikki. This is not the world she wants her to grow up in, but with little money, the single mom doesn't have many options. But one day, everything changes when Nikki's mother is approached by a man in a long white garment. He hands her a book and points at the address printed on the cover. That night, she becomes filled with curiosity and reads the book cover to cover, finally feeling that her prayers and hopes for a better life are being answered. Immediately, she decides that she will visit the man the next day. As she walks down the street, she proceeds with her usual caution, but as she approaches 717 Bushwick Avenue, she feels the air around her begin to change. Slowly, she hears the faint sound of a choir singing. As she walks in, she sees children laughing, playing, and running around freely in beautiful garments. She comes face to face with an entire community, a community who preaches about their struggle while lifting each other up. After this first meeting, a new routine starts for the young mother. She begins attending the gatherings regularly, finally finding a place that feels like home. Slowly, the streets of New York feel safer with the help of this new community, and as the years go by, Nikki's mom starts to change. She finally sees a future for her and her kids, one that is hopeful and full of possibilities. Nikki, now 7 years old, starts to become more and more aware of her mother's faith, and for the first time since her mom's discovery, she tags along to a sermon with her. Nikki's mom watches her daughter as she enters. Seeing her child carefree and surrounded by such peace and joy brings tears to her eyes. Behind this safe community is one man who made it all happen. It's charismatic preacher, Dr. Dwight Malachi York.
All right, so Dr. Dwight Malachi York is a man that is extremely interesting, but a key player in a lot of this stuff. We got so many of these different wolves that we were warned about from our beloved brother Peter, who said what he said in regards to these false teachers will come on the scene and deceive many. You understand what I'm saying? Leading many astray. This is one of them, Dr. Malachi York, another devil, another wolf in sheep's clothing. You got to understand that this person is extremely wicked. But now these people are giving over into the enticement of Satan. This is the reason why Yeshua had to return and show us how to truly defeat the evil one, right? Because none of us would be able to do it without him. And that's just the facts and the truth. So while he's developing this particular cult of a different faith, a different belief, right? And it's more rooted into Egyptian culture, right? With no Messiah, with no grounding, without the scriptures, right? We have to now identify that Satan can creep in unaware, claiming to be somebody you can trust, teaching you false doctrines and damnable heresies. Let's continue. Let's learn more about this so-called doctor. Let's learn more about Dr. Malachi. Let's go.
He could walk in this room and get along with everybody. He knew how to bring people together, and that was his personality.
Oh, and shout out to Sister Nadia. Sister Nadia can vouch for that part of your story. You did relocate, and brothers did fail you. I mean, yeah. But, you know, my thing is this, that it's still my job. It's still my duty to do what's needed, right? But you think that it would be met with more care and understanding. The brother just moved over here, relocated, that would be an understanding explained, and then more assistance would come from just that understanding alone, showing myself to be faithful. It said, seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High Yah, and that's what I thought when I made that decision to move closer. I thought, seek ye first the kingdom. In fact, a lot of things that I sacrificed, the sacrifices that was made, I thought to myself, seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High Yah, and all of his righteousness, his riches and glory will be added on to you. That was what was playing in my mind. Now, if you find out this is a wicked ministry and it's cult-like and it's cultish, are you truly doing the right thing? Because even after I was put out, I still was donating money to this, to the ministry, even afterwards, right? And thinking that I was doing the right thing for Yah's people. it was going to the right place, that it was going to be used for the right, and you know, granted, you know, it potentially was, right? But still, you got to understand where my heart was, right? You got to understand where my heart was. So, but let's continue, y'all. Let's continue.
The community, known as the Nawabian Nation, had its roots in New York City back in the 1960s. At the time, the city was an even more dangerous place to live, especially for African Americans, who faced daily discrimination and violence in the years following segregation. Racial tensions were high, and the streets of New York were no less forgiving. Muggings, drug deals, and violent crime were a part of everyday life. So for many, the new community offered more than just a spiritual and cultural liberation. It was a safe haven for Black residents in New York and across other cities along the East Coast.
For people of African descent, our history, our culture were literally severed by slavery. So who are we? Here comes Malachi York and says, oh, I have an answer to that.
You are the original man, the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the grievance founder, the father of civilization, and God of the universe.
And
now we have this Malachi York, right, who's speaking about the Black struggle, the Black man, and how they are tied or associated with this great power. You understand what I'm saying? Providing a solution to a problem. Do we not have the same thing when it comes to these other cult leader, religious leaders, whatever relics they are, right? Same thing with Dowell, providing answers for times where you just are questioning the truth. What is the truth about the Bible? What is the truth about the scriptures? That's how I was roped in. I understood the truth. Deuteronomy was mentioned, Deuteronomy 28, and I wanted to do my own investigations as to what that was. I didn't even know that it was a book in the Bible at the time. How sad is that? But once I find out, I was running hard, y'all. I'm talking running hard. But my thing is that when a wolf sets its trap, when it lays its scent to capture whatever sheep want to come that direction, it uses the proper lure. It uses the proper trap. It uses a trap that will entice them, influence them, that looks pretty, that's beautiful, that's something that is going to be thought-provoking and answering the questions, and individuals who are thinkers, who are truth seekers, right? It's going to use the trap of preparedness, of STF, shit hitting the fan, bug out bags, Mylar bags, using a lure, using a trap to entice you and influence you to giving up your wealth. It's going to use the traps of every man should be a patriarch in his own home. Every man should be a real man, a man's man. A woman should submit. The woman shouldn't be running the home. It's going to use these lures, these traps to entice and influence what you would believe would be a real man, a real masculine man. What masculine man wouldn't agree with him on those points? But the moment you're in there, the moment you're roped in, one moment you're snared, just as Mobley was snared, was being wooed and psychologically manipulated by the snake. It's the same situation with these false leaders, these cult leaders. Same thing. What lure, what trap are they setting? A lot of times you gotta at least play the game to see. But always walk by the Spirit, y'all. Let's continue.
York says, well, why can't we have our own communities that are consciously planned for people of African descent?
And if you're not black,
why can't we have our own community? Oh, my bad, y'all. Why can't we have our own communities that is consciously planned for people of African descent? Why can't we have our own communities? Right? Why can't we have our own community? Let's continue, y'all.
For people of African descent.
and if you're not black, you don't belong in this room.
All right now.
It's a black thing.
That's right.
York was an accomplished speaker who spent decades building this community. He often spoke about fighting for Black Americans and had ties to the Black Panther movement. On the side, he was also a musician, producing his own smooth jazz, funk, and disco records. He was an artist, an activist, and most importantly, the leader of the Nawabian Nation. His message of self-empowerment and strength only grew stronger into the 80s, and that's when, in 1986, Nikki's family takes a big leap of faith. At just 11 years old, Nikki officially moves into the compound in Bushwick, New York. Along with her 2 younger siblings, she's promised a roof over her head, protection, and the assurance of a better, brighter future.
Boom. Promised. All of these promises of a better and brighter future. All of these promises that was made to this widow by Dowell. Give me half of that. And I got a better and brighter future. We got this. We promise you this and promise you that. We will live with the saints. The individual who relayed the message from Dowell, you should be ashamed of yourself. Same thing that this individual has done. This 11-year-old woman, young lady, has committed her life to this Dr. York and living on this compound because she feels as though this is the way to go for her salvation. She's been influenced, manipulated, enticed. Let's listen to what happened to this young lady.
It's an exchange from the hard knock life of being on the streets to moving into a community that was completely secured and protected by our own people.
But with their new lives come new rules, new customs, and ultimately a completely new way of life.
My wardrobe changed, how we ate changed. We would study the Quran. We learned Arabic from Arabic teachers.
The spiritual leader is particularly fond of Nikki and her siblings and makes sure they're well fed, properly dressed, and kept entertained. He pays them close attention, greeting them warmly, checking in on their well-being, and ensuring they're included in community activities. For Nikki, the attention feels comforting, special. In a way, she's found a new father figure to look up to, someone both protective and powerful.
A little after I joined the community, my mom became one of his wives. That meant
one of his wives, his mother became one of his wives. You gotta pay close attention to what's going on. So this is a single mother with her daughter who's joined this community, who's changed the way that they look, the way that they behave, they pray, keeping the Quran, which honestly, tell you the truth, the Sharia law. These are some of the things they're falling into. The same trap that a lot of you have willingly submitted to. The same trap that a lot of you have not even shed it off. You're still mentally drowned and confused and dazed in this particular Dowell syndrome. Believing that he is the man of Yah, believing this. But when you hear things like this about this widow is being taken advantage of when she's in her most vulnerable state, why would he want to take advantage of a woman in a most vulnerable state? Whereas to where you have individuals who've left his ministry, so-called ministry, this same widow came to them and offered them some money, and they chose not to take it at all. Elder Brent Crago chose to not take that money at all. So who you all tell me? Put it in the comment section. Put it in the chat. Give me a W if Elder Brent Crago, based on that testimony, is more righteous than Dowell. If you believe that Dowell's more righteous, put an L in the chat. Right? Because Elder Brent Crago did not take that money from that widow. He rejected it. He refused it, told her to hang on to it, and which Dowell effectively manipulated, coerced, controlled, put her under duress. Figured, man, if I don't get this to him, then I'm going to be a Jezebel. I'm going to be slandered in open format. Do you see the tactics, the fear tactics, the level of weaponry that's being used by these manipulators? I'm trying to tell you now. Yeah. Fear is a powerful, powerful tool. Fear is a powerful tool. And it can manipulate and control many who aren't strong enough. And this widow didn't have to exude strength. You know why? Because the men who were in task to care for her they were the ones who should have been strengthened. during this whole ordeal. They should have done that. My thing is this, right? The individual leaders that are a part of this, who knew what Dowell was doing the whole time and said nothing at all, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. It's shame on you. You need to repent. Because my thing is this, right? You stood by and you allowed this widow to sell her home, to do the things that she was doing. I believe Gideon was one who was firsthand in this, because he was the one who was tasked to look after this widow in the first place. You allowed Dowell to take advantage. You allowed him to assert his dominance over her. He looked at her and just like she was a snack. The level of fear, the level of control. It's sad. It's very sad. But my thing is that when you're dealing with these types of individuals, this is what they do. And I'm showing you another prime example. This person's way back in the 80s doing this to young girls, to single mothers with children. In which, of course, this is what's taking place. Let's continue. Let's continue listening to our story real quick.
I was one of his children, and I looked up to him. That's my dad.
Dr. Malachi Dwight York is the center of the Nuwaubian Nation. He is revered as their leader and their savior. He is the provider of safety and hope. By this point, there's over 1,000 members, and their community center in Bushwick is becoming increasingly crowded. It comes to a point where it's clear to York that they've outgrown the city streets, and a new chapter needs to begin.
A physical state with our own passports and our own tax system. I'm talking about our own nation, where no one tells us what to do but us.
Dwight York decides to build a new home for his congregation, and it will be over 900 miles away from New York, in the rural farmlands of Putnam County, Georgia.
We're driving cross country. You see the rural areas that we weren't accustomed to seeing. We pulled onto the property and it was just open land. It was amazing.
The property was out in Putnam County in a very rural area, a little over 400 acres. Isolation was very much a factor. They were coming to Georgia. They were going to form their own nation, not subject to the laws of the United States.
Before York starts building in Georgia, he decides to fully overhaul the Nuwaubian Nation doctrine, drawing from different cultures, religions, and mythologies from around the world to create a new identity for his community. He makes drastic changes to his appearance in his quest. One moment, taking on a Western persona, donning cowboy hats and boots. Next, he claims to be an extraterrestrial being called Yanan, and even going as far as calling himself Chief Black Thunderbird Eagle while wearing a feather headdress. He moves from one identity to the next until he lands on the perfect one that will define the new Nuwaubian Nation. York gathers his followers for a sermon. There, he proclaims the true origin of the Nuwaubians, that they are, in fact, descendants of ancient Egyptians from a different planet. His loyal...
Now, as you heard, that this guy morphed literally into 5-6 different personas before he landed on the one that struck gold for him, before he landed on the one that could really sink down into the souls of the vulnerable, the ones who are looking for spirituality, spiritual growth, something different, the ones who can be manipulated in ways to believing that the Bible was written to enslave everybody and enslave all, when truly it was just a tool being used to keep your mind entrapped. He morphed, changed, and molded into a few different facets in order to accomplish a goal. You tell me what Dowell has done that's no different. Before, he started out as an apostolic Christian, right? Associated with R.G. Stair. And when that was not booming enough for him, which I got some melanin in my skin, hearing about this Hebrew Israelite movement, let me see what true is. This is an opportunity to entice and influence a new crowd of people who are looking for spiritual growth, who are looking for an answer to a question they've had for so long. Who am I? Where do I come from? What did I used to practice? What traditions and beliefs did I used to keep? These questions that these individuals have, that I've had, that so many of you others have had, is what he provided a solution to. He wanted to provide a solution, regardless of how ready he was to deliver it, regardless on if he is truly equipped to deliver that resource or that answer. He decided he wanted to provide it, and look where it got him now. He decided to hold on to a faith that struck gold. You understand what I'm saying? And since it struck gold for him, he stuck with it. It got him what he wanted, what he desired. As this individual, York, Dr. York, morphed at least 5 to 6 times before he found the answer, before he found the faith that would strike gold for him. Where a lot of you individuals have come across this and fell in love with the truth, the knowledge of the truth, based on your own merit, based on Yah calling you, not this man's voice, not Dowell's voice. The Most High called you to do your research, to look into things. And a lot of you, the Most High told you that was a cult leader and to stay away from him, in which you ignored it because he had a compound and he had land and he built his own buildings. And you wanted to go see for yourself because he told you to come on down and see it for yourself. You fell into a level of trusting this individual, locking you into enticing and influence you with eyes and with ears that are itching. You fell right into a snare. And some of you love the chains that you're in. Some of you love the captivity that you're in. You're captives of wickedness, of deception. And a lot of you love it. A lot of you get on here and make testimonies about it. False testimonies, but to you, they're true. And the moment the scales are removed from your eyes, that testimony is going to turn to pain, because you're going to think how deceived you truly was. Right? When you start hearing stories like this widow being taken advantage of, over $100K stolen from her. Yeah, stolen. Let's continue. I believe that they built that pyramid too. These guys, they built that pyramid. And this is what influences you. This is what interests you. When somebody just builds all they got to do is build them a building, build them a mansion, build them a pyramid, and y'all gonna run to their ministry, run to their compound like a bunch of busy idiots, right? Myself included. And you're just gonna go do it. Why? Because you see the physical and not the spiritual, right? A lot of you say, hey, I'm from the show me state. A lot of you just want to be proven something. A lot of you come from a space of Christianity where they talked a big talk, but really the walk wasn't the same. And you just want to see something. You just want to see somebody do something right. You want to see somebody do something that's worthwhile. And you felt you saw it and found it in a lot of these religious and cult leaders. Looks pretty, but all that glitters ain't gold. Sometimes it's just shit. But let's continue, y'all. Let's continue.
Followers welcome their newfound identity and quickly get to work. They begin building. A massive sphinx head is erected, towering over the previously abandoned farmland. Artists are hired, murals are painted, and before long, dozens of elaborate structures and several large pyramids begin to take shape. With each new structure, the place transforms into something so bizarre and theatrical, drawing more and more attention from their neighbors and passersby. Dwight and his followers name it Tamaray, Egypt of the West.
If you were coming into Putnam County on Georgia Highway 142, all of a sudden there are pyramids out there in the middle of a cow pasture. It was very unusual.
Have you seen their property out there?
Oh, I've seen it.
What do you think?
I think it's kind of strange.
Though the neighbors are confused by the strange new community, the compound isn't disruptive. The grounds stay tidy. There's no noise and no trouble. It's strange to look at, yes, but it appears harmless. But the truth is not what it seems, and what's really going on behind these walls is far more disturbing. 2 years after joining the Nawabian community, Nikki finally feels settled in her new home. But then, one day, one of York's wives finds Nikki alone on the grounds. She calls her over urgently, leading her to a private room, and that's when the woman tells the young teenager something she never expected.
One of the wives, she had a conversation with me and said, York would be the person that would teach me about sex, and she would help me and talk to me because, these are things that you want to know as a growing woman.
In a state of shock, Nikki doesn't know what to do or how to feel. She just listens. Maybe this is normal, and every other young girl in the community gets the same talk from Dwight York as part of his teachings. After all, he is the respected leader, the prophet.
One of the things that he told us is the person who takes your virginity, that's the person that you're always going to be connected to and loyal to.
That's when the 45-year-old York comes in and locks the door behind him, leaving him and Nikki alone in the room. The young teenager looks at the man she calls her father. Something feels wrong. Suddenly, a strong sense of fear washes over her. In that moment, the trust she once had in him shatters.
And he was just like, it's not a big deal. Like, why are you making this a big deal? It wasn't something that I wanted to do, and he just kind of held me down and just did it. I was miserable. I used to write him many letters saying that I hated my life. And,
wow.
I wish I wasn't born, but there's nothing I could do about it. This is someone who, for all of my life, was our leader, our master teacher. So when you have that ingrained in you, you don't want to leave.
The world she thought she understood, the people she thought she could rely on, all feels different now. Everything has changed, and there's no going back. Nikki stays quiet, trapped by the rules and by the eyes constantly surveying her, making sure she stays loyal and doesn't disrespect the leader by going against his teachings. With no one to turn to, not even her own mother, it feels like there's nowhere else.
It completely starts out with gaining their trust. Your parent is telling you that this is God. And this.
So when we're seeing this, right, and gaining the trust and doing what they're doing, this sounds a lot like these individuals. It sounds a lot like Randy. It sounds a lot like Dowell. It sounds a lot like these individuals who are taking Kabir up there in enslaved land, taking advantage of young girls, taking advantage of them, trying to take advantage of them in a essay type of way. This is what it is. And when we identify a lot of this, we know for a fact that this is the truth that has been repackaged, rehashed, and redelivered on so many different levels. When we look back into the history of what we're witnessing, when these individuals are doing what they're doing, they don't have the fear of the Most High. When they're out here actively lying about what they're doing, when they're lying about others, when they're lying on others and making them look bad or trying to besmirch their good name, they're not concerned about the Most High judging them. They're not concerned about the Father that you and I serve and whether they'll be judged harshly or not, or they'll be judged or held accountable for those actions. They could care less, honestly. And this is what I'm saying, because somebody who truly cared would move with more caution. Somebody who really cared wouldn't do things like this. Why? And if they would have fell into some sort of sin or temptation of sin, listen, my thing is that they will do what they can to make it right, to fix it. Right? Now, don't get me wrong. Some things are beyond repair. Like this young lady right here who suffered what she suffered at the hands of Dr. York, okay, Malachi York. That right there is difficult for her to repair that, right? When a young lady or a lady has been taken advantage of on that level, right? And honestly, it's difficult to restore the mind that has been fragmented in that way. Okay. As a 11-year-old. So my thing is that the level of blood, because right, the Most High said what? To do what? To not don't do what you don't do anything to the little ones, right? The Most High said for us to be sure that we do not grieve. No, not grieve. Do not do anything to hurt the little ones. Okay. I'm trying to think about the exact word that was used. Right, my bad. I'm trying to figure out the exact word. But you should not be doing anything to hurt even the least of the little ones. That you shouldn't be doing anything to hurt them, right? And it'll be better for a millstone to be tied about your neck. Okay. And so these individuals aren't hearing the scripture speak. They're not caring about it. They don't associate that with spirituality. They just don't. Let's go ahead and dive into this thing. Offend. Yeah. Offend his little ones. Yeah. I appreciate you, Sister Rebecca. Thank you. Brain, sometimes, you gotta, but yeah, shout out to the chat. Thank you, sister, for letting me know. Hallelujah. Received. All right. So you should not offend at least his little ones. Shouldn't be. Yeah. It's just something that you shouldn't do. Should never do. And so I believe it's very offensive for Dowell to take a position of stealing, right? And taking the inheritance from them little ones. That was truly their inheritance. That was truly their wealth. Listen, 100K can only get you so far. 100K sounds like a lot of money, but listen, MC Hammer made millions, 300 million, in fact, and he still went broke. So you got to understand 200K is great in the hands of somebody who's going to, actually make that work for you, right? But if you are somebody who's taking half of it and just blowing it, and you're not looking out for the widow and helping her out and making sure she's making sound and wise decisions for her, right? To set her and her family up for a lifetime. Then if you're not concerned about that, then of course, 200K is nothing. It's going to be gone shortly. And that's the reason why she's found herself in positions where she's saying she's back up on her feet, is because the individual men, the leadership within Straightway, right? So-called leaders didn't do what it took to make sure that she was well off. Why would this widow be in a position that she had to pull herself out of and get back up on her feet? Why would she ever had to reach that position in the first place? If that inheritance was left, if that those funds was left behind for her to be able to be sure that her life was good, right? That she was solid in everything she was doing. Why? You understand what I'm saying? Now, this is one of the biggest problems, okay, that I'm having with this situation. You understand what I'm saying? That every one of those individuals at Straightway did nothing to effectively help her. You got Dowell not showing up to any of the, did not show up to the funeral, didn't show up to the wake, didn't show up to anything to support, but he wants the support. He wants her to give. He forces her to give under duress, right? And he takes control of this widow and her money and effectively does nothing to help her. Why is she having to get back up on her feet if y'all are so responsible over at Straightway? If you men are so-called leaders, right? Any one of you who are still right now part of associated with Straightway, if any of you are responsible and honorable men, why would you have a widow who needs to get back up on her feet after receiving over 200K in inheritance and what was left for her after her husband's passing? Why would she need to get back up on her feet if we got righteous men in this so-called ministry of Straightway? And when she's reaching out, trying to figure out what's going on with her money, so she can be able to be sure that her and her children are stable, Okay. And she's reaching out for stability, not to try to bash you. She's reaching out because her and her children needs this. When she's doing so, you ignore her. You give her the cold shoulder. We're going to see if you can continue to ignore her now. We're going to sound this alarm bell. We're going to keep raining this out. We're going to keep talking about this situation because she's not going to go away quietly. Her story is not going to be left untold. You understand what I'm saying? Now her story has surfaced and has reached the point of awareness. We all have a task. We all have a duty. We all have a job to do. If you truly call yourself somebody who's a servant of the Most High, if you truly call yourself somebody who loves your brothers and sisters, a story like this should move you. A story like this should shake you to your core to make you want to do something to affect some change. To affect some change. You understand what I'm saying? So my thing is this, right? You should always do what you can. Support the ones who are doing what they can, right? So we all know that the love of money is the root of all corruption. It is root of all evil. You understand what I'm saying? As our beloved brother wrote to Timothy over in 1 Timothy 6:10, right? Let's take a look at that real quick, y'all. And we're going to be landing this plane here very shortly, very soon. I appreciate y'all joining me. Let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. I want to go through a few scriptures real quick. And I just want to bring this thing home because I think it's important for us to identify these things. And I know that, a lot of you have already, all right. So 1 Timothy 6:10. All right. For the love of money is the root of all evil. The love of money. When you love the money, it's the root of all evil. Right. So when this widow told you about her inheritance, the money that she was receiving over 200K. You devised a plan, not devising a plan to help the widow, not devising a plan to make sure you show some proper support. You're devising a plan to be able to take what you can for yourself. Because obviously that would definitely do a lot of trips for you. That would do a lot of comfortable things for you, right? To build whatever you want to build for your property or your land, whatever it may be, whatever you feel you want to be, that would do it for you. Even if you got to pay back your sugar baby, sugar daddy, Kabir, that would be something that help you pay him back. But that love of money is what consumed Dow, which consumes people like Dr. York, which consumes what? People like R.G. Stair, the love of power, the love of money. These things are the direct root of all evil. People who start these ministries in order to take advantage into what? You see it all the time in Christian churches when they pass around a collection plate. Many of you right now watching left a Christian church because the collection plate went around 3 times and you was like, I'm done with this. And you walked out, never went back. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. It went around 3 times in that one day. You noticed it like, man, I'm done. And you never went back. Right? The love of money is the root of all evil. There's no reason why you should be passing around a collection plate, let alone asking 3 times in a day for somebody to give their last dollar. The same dollar they thought, well, I can easily go buy a loaf of bread with it and make some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches until my SNAP benefits kick in. But you're enticing and tugging and pulling at that $1 she can be able to make those PB&Js with. Now she's feeling convicted, like she's going to hell because if you don't get that dollar, guess what? Your father ain't gonna bless you. A lot of you left the Christian church because of that story, because you felt that pain. You've known those people's testimonies. The reason why you left. The love of money is the root of all evil. People who don't truly care about the Most High and care about serving him truly, guess what? They're going to do the things that make sense to them. They're going to be an exemplification of the love of money. You understand what I'm saying? All right. My apologies, y'all. All right, so we know that that's a part of it, right, y'all? Let's go ahead. The love of money, which while some covet after, okay, which some covet after, they have what? Erred from the faith. They have erred from the faith. That love of money. When you do an exemplification, okay, when you're doing what you're doing, and you go to a widow and you tell her to give you over 100K of her of the money that she should be keeping for her own family. There's no reason why a man who claims to have it all, a man who is on a hiatus or wherever you're at, right? Socially, however you feel you are, dominant. There's no reason why you should be taking a widow's money. If you truly got it like that. If you truly got it like that, there's no reason why you should ask a widow for 100K. There's no way. You didn't even show up to the funeral. So how are you brave and bold enough to ask this woman for 100K? And you didn't even show up to preach a sermon for this man when he passed away. Like the nerve. The nerve. It is a sad situation. The nerve. I would be pressed to ask her for $1. Like, man, I didn't even show up to the... This is what I'm saying. When it comes to leaders, people who believe themselves to be leaders, right, in positions of leadership, and what they do is they do this, right? They have no empathy. They can't relate to people's situation, right? When they sit there and they do not empathize with a position, they don't even consider the fact that they did not ask, they did not show up to the funeral, that they did not preach the sermon. This does not convict them, does not bring them conviction. You know, this individual is not being led of the Spirit, not being led of the Holy Spirit. Because if they're willing to take that vast amount of wealth from that widow and then throw her wherever they feel like they want to put her, they just throw her somewhere, put all the bills in her name, right? Don't effectively help her manage her wealth, manage it to a point to where it can be able to make money for her. We got Kabir, who's supposed to be the financial advisor for that ministry, does nothing effectively to help this woman. Why is she having to get back on her feet? You got a financial advisor as a sugar baby, sugar mama. And we got a widow who's having to get back up on her feet. This is sad, but still showing you love and compassion. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should definitely be ashamed of yourself. And the love of all money, right? And you erred in from the faith, right? And pierce themselves through the what? Many sorrows. With many sorrows. Pierce themselves. Come on now. When money becomes the motivation, the ministry becomes a business. Now he talks about me in the Warsheep podcast because I'm honest. I'm not a minister, so I don't consider this to be a ministry. You understand what I'm saying? I just really enjoy and love to get down to the bottom of the truth. I enjoy it. I also really enjoy and love to see that saints are getting back to the Father. First and foremost, I believe that's what I really fell in love with the most while doing this business. And when it becomes a ministry, if it becomes a ministry, it can be announced, but I'm not going to fake the funk. I'm not going to be fake about what I'm doing here. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to be very transparent. I'm transparent about mine. I was very honest from the beginning, from the get-go. But when you got individuals who only care about the money, right? And you see that they're taking money from the widows. Listen, this becomes a business when it's about the filthy lucre. It's a business. It's a business with a 501c3. And that's all it really is. When you're trying to get tax exempt status on all parts of your land, even though you don't really deserve it because you want to avoid taxation, right? It's a business. It's a business. Paul said over in Acts 20, okay, I have coveted no one's silver or gold. He said that. I have coveted no one's silver or gold. Now, if they are not walking after what Paul did, to where he did not covet anybody's silver or gold, where he did not hoard or take away anybody's silver and gold, then we know what we're truly dealing with. We're dealing with a wolf in sheep's clothing. Because why wouldn't you be influenced also not to covet anyone's gold? Thou shalt not covet. Just because this woman came to you, Dow, and told you that she received over $200,000, doesn't mean you start to covet her money. Keep your hands off this widow's money. Keep your hands off of people's money. This was for her and her family to be able to start over and build anew. You should have done everything in your power to make sure that was taken care of and that was successfully done. Everything. Without taking from her at all. Respected you more if you done it. You demanded for her to give it to you. It wasn't her decision to give it to you. So she gave it grudgingly. What blessings can be received from something that was given grudgingly? So effectively, she can't receive blessings from that. Neither can you. Killed the whole situation. The heart of a real shepherd, the heart of a real pastor, okay? They serve. They do not steal. They do not take, commandeer, influence, intimidate widowed women into giving half of their wealth. That's not what the man of Yah is willing to do. Because the Most High, the Father that they fear, they would fear that judgment. Now we understand why he will never repent. You understand what I'm saying? But we move past the point of repentance for Dow, right? Now we at a point of being sure that we warn those who need to be warned from this wickedness, from this evil, okay? Now, let's go ahead and roll over here, right? We're going to go ahead and get Malachi 3:8. Let's go ahead and do it. Malachi 3:8. Let's go ahead and get that, right? Right. Will a man rob Yah? Will a man rob Yah, yet have robbed me? Yet ye have robbed me. But ye say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings have we robbed thee. In tithes and in offerings is what the statement is. Where have they robbed you? In tithes or in offerings, are they robbing you? Now that he's saying that this was an offering, no, it was not an offering, but you're labeling it as an offering so you can effectively rob this woman. So you can rob her. So you can rob her. Let's go to Matthew 25:40. Let's go to Matthew 25:40, y'all. Matthew 25:40. Robbing this woman. Talking about as a tithe and offering. You sitting there effectively robbing her. It's crazy to me. Matthew 25:40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. So, since you have taken this widow's money, then guess what? You have taken the money from Yeshua, from Yeshua himself. You've taken what was the blessing onto this widow. You've taken that blessing from the passing of her husband onto yourself. You coveted her money. So you covet that same blessing from Yeshua himself. You've done it onto the little one, somebody who was vulnerable, who was afraid, who was afraid of your power, afraid of your voice, afraid of your reach, of being slandered, of being her name drugged through the filth. You abusing your power, abusing your authority, abusing your platform. I think it's about high time that that platform has been completely and totally dismantled and discredited. Right? Because you will not hang that level of power of fear over anybody else's head. using it to coerce them, to manipulate them, to staying with your wickedness, to supporting you through all this unrighteousness, and turning a blind eye in fear that they will be called names. Well, we know that Yeshua was definitely called plenty of names. So those of you who are still right now in fears, you should be inspired. You should be motivated by this widow who decided to break her silence and to bring out her story, right? And a lot of you who remain silent and remain under the influence of fear. Yeshua didn't walk in fear. He didn't walk in that level of silence. Not the same Yeshua who flipped tables. You understand what I'm saying? Who called out all things. Not that one. You know? And if you are to model yourself to reaching that goals, those goals, whatever it may be, right? Then I believe that, that's one of the things that we got to achieve. At least start there, right? At least start there. Start with speaking up and speaking out. Start there. Start somewhere. Because you have a man who's actively robbing the Most High Yah, who's robbing Yeshua, robbing, stealing from him, coveting blessings from Yeshua. He didn't just do it to the widow. He did it to all of Israel. He did it to all of Israel. And he also did it to Yeshua, because we all stand with Yeshua, right? If you claim you stand with him. So reframe it. If the widow is not good enough, if him abusing her and manipulating her and coveting her money and influencing her through fear, enticing her through fear to give up over 100K of her resources to this man, to this so-called man, to this male, if that does not get you there, then just reframe this and say that he did it to Yeshua. That right there should get you there. If you truly love Yeshua, if you truly love the Most High, that should get you there. If you care about the sacrifice he made for you, as it says here in Matthew, that should get you there. Matthew 25:40. He didn't just do it to the widow. He did it to Yeshua himself. When he did what he did with everybody else, he banished and talked bad about after their departure, shat on them, even though he made them leaders in Israel, made them leaders in his ministry. He still shat on them anyway. He didn't just do it to them. He did it to Yeshua himself. He slandered Yeshua himself. He didn't just do it to them. Right? And many of you who have experienced wickedness from this ministry or from any other religious group, they're not doing it to just you. They're doing it to Yeshua too. He hurts too. You understand what I'm telling you? So don't think that he's don't got your back, that he's not in your corner. No, he hurts right along with you. But that's the reason why those blessings will come for you as well. When you steal from a widow, you're stealing from the Most High. We got to make it very clear. You're stealing from Yeshua. When the multiple accusations come out and you just ignore them, it's a problem. This individual who is seeking to love the Most High with all of their heart, this widow who's seeking to love the Most High, these people that you are misusing and abusing, who are just genuinely seeking a spiritual connection, you got a lot of blood on your hands. You're robbing Yeshua. You're robbing Jesus, the Messiah. You're not just breaking a commandment. You're violating a covenant, a relationship with the Most High. And a lot of these individuals don't care about that. They'll come out here and blatantly bold-faced lie to your face with no receipts and tell you whatever they want to tell you and expect the other individual to provide all the receipts for them, right? To play their game. They'll sit here and blatantly lie to you and not even care about the repercussions. You know why? Because they do not fear the Most High. There's no fear of Yah. And if you are to fear Yah, then you what? Be wise. Because what? The fear of Yah is the beginning of all wisdom, is it not? Right? Let's hit this Ezekiel real quick. Let's hit Ezekiel 34:2. Ezekiel 34:2. Ezekiel 34:2. Ezekiel 34:2. All right. Let's go to Ezekiel 34:2. All right. Okay. Son of man, prophecy against the shepherds, against the shepherds of Israel. Prophecy, and say unto them, prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Elohim Yah unto the shepherds, woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flocks? My question is to you, Dow, is this, right? When you decided to ask, even though you didn't show up to the funeral to preach a sermon for the brother, when you decided to go to his widowed wife and ask her for over $100K of her money required, when you did that, were you feeding the flock, or were you feeding yourself, Mr. The Shepherd, right? The man of Yah, the man of Yah. Were you feeding the flock, or were you feeding yourself? What were you doing? Woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. That do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flocks? Should not the shepherds feed the flocks? You understand what I'm saying? Ye eat the fat, and ye what? Clothe you with the wool. Ye kill them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock. But ye feed not the flock, killing them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock. Interesting, ain't it? Which one are we doing here, Dow? Which one are we doing? Because I believe it is your duty. It is your job, and you are tasked to do it. I believe it is you who should be doing this and carrying this out. It's talking about the shepherds. And the shepherds should be watching over the flock. And if any man were to do something like this that was done to this widow, you, as the so-called man of Yah, or as a shepherd, should be willing to step in and do what it takes to protect the flock. That's what you should be doing, because you hold the title and your condemnation is greater than those. Is it not? You hold the title. You've given yourself the title. You say that you're a pastor, right? You say that you're the man of Yah, not just a man of Yah, but the man of Yah, meaning the one and only. You understand what I'm saying? And since you're the man of Yah, should you not be feeding the flock? Is this woe associated with you who wants to approach a widowed woman, instill and install fear into this woman, and then entice her and influence her to give over $100K of her money to you that she was not willing to give, that she did not want to give, but she just wanted to avoid the slander, just as you do Sister Zakina when you get to talking and running your mouth about her, just because you want that, injured dog to remain loyal. You got to beat down the self-esteem a little bit more, right? So it's sad. The disease have ye not strengthened, neither have ye healed that which was sick, neither have ye bound up that which was broken, neither have ye brought again that which was driven away, neither have ye sought that which was lost, but with force and with what? Cruelty have ye ruled them. With what? Force and with what? Cruelty. So the level of force, when you can repeatedly come into this widow and saying, I need half of that. Sell your house. Blase blah. She thinking the level of cruelty she would receive from you. So she proceeds to listen and obey in fear. Force and cruelty, ye ruled them. The way that you conduct and run your ministry is all through fear. It's all through tearing down the self-esteem in order to control the individuals that you have placed yourself above. That's what you use. Those are the tactics. Those are the tools. I don't care how many hands you shake and how many babies you kiss during the feast days. This is still what reigns as truth. And just because I invite you onto the show to answer to a lot of this BS or a lot of this stuff that's been brought up, it's not BS. It's actual real people, and they're really hurt by this. The BS that you're doing, I'm asking you to come on here and address it. I'm not begging you. I'm telling you, get your ass up here and talk about what you need to talk about. Because you got many people who lives have been destroyed by you, and you know that I'm not going to ask you no easy questions. You know that I'm not going to give you anything soft to answer, Dow. You know that I'm not going to give you any soft questions. You know they're going to be hard questions you're going to have to answer. You know you're going to have to answer to a lot of the accusations, and that I'm not pulling any punches. But that's the reason why you won't come visit. That's the reason why you won't give up. I don't see your time in person or in private or over live stream. That's the reason why you refuse to do that. You will refuse it every time. Unless you're going to get the easy questions. You will go run on over there to Fat Boy Ellis's page, his platform. You'll run over there all day long because you know he's going to support your cause and position. He's going to try to make you look good. But when you step over here where somebody disagrees with you, that's when you really can identify whether somebody raised a real man or a coward, right? As you said, like your parents didn't bring up, Mama and Papa Dowell didn't bring up no coward, right? Well, test that boast. Let's see who you truly are. You've been labeled as somebody who's stealing from the widows. Answer to it, Dow. Speak to it. What happened? Don't just speak on your platform. Don't try to spin the narrative and spin the truth. Come up against somebody who gonna have some real questions for you. Who ain't gonna let you just run. Who ain't gonna just, oh man, let me not. No, sidestepping questions. Talk to somebody who's gonna actually give you some real pushback. You understand what I'm saying? And what's fair is fair. Right? James 3:1. We got to understand when we take a look at James 3:1, y'all. James 3:1. It reminds us. James 3:1 reminds us. It teaches us. The teachers will receive, okay? Will receive a very strict judgment for what they do. That means these pastors, these teachers, these theologians, the ones that lead you astray, that are misleading you, misguiding you, these individuals will receive a very strict punishment from the Most High. Do you think that they are afraid of that punishment that's over here spoken about in James 3:1? My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation. That greater condemnation, do you believe that these individuals are fearful of that condemnation coming from the Most High? When they're taking and stealing and ignoring a widow who's just asking for that inheritance back for her children. She's already asked for forgiveness from the Most High for giving it to you. Where her spirit, the Holy Spirit that guides her, whether it be in her or upon her, told her not to give it to you. She gave it to you and disobeyed the Spirit, right? Well, she repented for that. Now she's looking for you to make it right, to make it whole, because you should have never received it in the first place. What are you going to do, Dow? These individuals are going to be held to a very high standard, or a higher standard. There's no excuses for this, right? Now, let's go ahead. Let's go over here to 1 Peter 5:2. 1 Peter 5:2, y'all. Let's go to 1 Peter 5:2. Y'all already know how Peter, man. He's gonna teach us what we need to know. 1 Peter 5:2. Short books in the Bible, but packed with so much knowledge. So much he's gonna teach you. And he's the one who's been tasked to feed the sheep. So 1 Peter 5:2. Feed the flock of Yah, which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by what? Constraint, but willingly, not by what? Filthy lucre, but of a ready mind. Not by filthy lucre. Don't enrich yourself off of these individuals, right? Who are in the position of being a widow, right? Who are not willing to give it, but you are forcing them to give it. We got to have an understanding here. Let's go to John 10, 11. John 10, 11. All right. John 10, 11. John 10, 11. I am good. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. The good shepherd giveth the life for the sheep. Now, my thing is this, right? The motto of Christ, the motto of Yeshua, of Jesus Christ, of the Messiah, the good shepherd, he doesn't take from any of the sheep, from any of the flock. If not, he gives to the flock. He gives to the flock. He does not take away. He gives. And when he told the rich man to sell all he had and give it to the poor, to get rid of all his worldly possessions, the things that bound him to the earth, there's no way that this man could have reached a level of spirituality that he needs to reach as a disciple, as somebody who followed Yeshua, if he still hung on to the worldly possessions, the things that made him, the things that made him feel like he was this head honcho, this Billy Badass, the guy who is the man. These things, if you're willing to get rid of it, guess what? You are my disciple. Get rid of it and give it to the poor. Give it to the ones who have the gospel preached to them. He didn't say get rid of it and give it to me. He said give it to the poor. Give it to the people who got the gospel preached to them. He's going to give, not to receive. What were you doing, Dow? Were you receiving this 100K from this widow? Were you giving it? What were you doing? She had no idea what it was going to be used for at all. But it was taken from her and her family. Literally, Yeshua, the Messiah, dies for them. The minute that's what the ministry is all about. That's leadership. That's love. You understand what I'm saying? That's the ministry. That's leadership. That is love. If this message hit home, y'all, you got to know. You got to share it. Share it with a friend. Share it with a friend. Share it with somebody who needs to know the truth. Somebody who still may be a part of this ministry, still a part of Straightway. Share it. You understand what I'm saying? Go check out Pastor Rufus, the rest of it. If you missed it, go watch the replay. Watch what she had to say. Listen to what she had to say. You understand what I'm saying? Let's get back. Let's get back to the heart of the ministry. Let's get back to the integrity, the compassion, the love, the truth. You understand what I'm saying? Wanting to hear the truth. Let that be revealed. The receipts should lead the conversation. It shouldn't be somebody just yapping. The receipts should lead the conversation. They shouldn't be on here just yapping and talking. The receipts should lead the conversation. Let that be the testimony. Let that testify for you. If you have receipts, then you have plenty to talk about. But if you ain't got no receipts for yourself, guess what? Pipe down, shut the hell up, and go find something safe to do. This is your host, Barak, man. I appreciate it. We're going to dive into the comment section real quick before we land this plane. And then we're going to go ahead and close this thing out, man. Appreciate you guys for joining me here today. All right, let's go ahead and get into this comments, man. King Julius Dowell wants his money. Yeah, of course. And then listen, this is even more gut-wrenching and heartbreaking. Man, the level of sadness that it'll bring you to know that he literally stole from this widow. Literally muscled her out of $100K. A woman. That's sad, yo. That's sad. He won't even get his cowardly tail on here and actually answer to a lot of these accusations. A lot of these things that have been solidified and made true. He won't even get his ass on here and say nothing. It's sad. Dowell is no longer a human. He is a devil. Like, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Give Julius Dowell what's his. Come on now. Come on now. Talk about the man of Yah. Okay, sure. Where? The man of Yah, where? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I just don't know how he thought this was entertaining. An evil man who won't work, repent, but destroy and take a woman's and anyone else money. So pathetic. I agree, Sister Rose. Absolutely pathetic. It's sad. It's a sad situation. And I'm pretty sure that's the reason why he put his little juju out there, got us arguing amongst us, got people mad and disgruntled, right? Attacking the very people who are exposing the truth about his sorry ass. I wouldn't be surprised. That's the reason why. This bomb was about to drop. This nuke was about to drop. And the less ears that would be able to hear it would have been better for him, right? That's all I'm saying. Don't listen to the spirit, but listen to Dowell is wild. Come on now. You already know it, King One. Bless you, bro. You already know it, King One. Raccoon Ready. Raccoon Ready. Randy. Working for his European slave master to enjoy his reward. Yeah, I kind of took a little peek. Man, I seen that my moderators packed him up. Oh, nah, he's still up there. Okay. Yeah, Randy was running his mouth, huh? Yeah, because Dowell is always busy. Come on now. Dog and Pony Show. Tell Ellis putting down the little Debbies. Come on now. Man, you and the whole world got to tell that man to do it, because come on, he's still wider than all outside. Come on now. Don't you have some drinks to drink with your pastor massa? Go do that. Yeah. Covenant Homestead, Satan, get off the chat. Straight devil. What's this guy talking about? I was looking at the house Rufus will never live in. Okay. You want to live in there, Randy? Or how's what's it called? Dang, I forgot the street name. Hill, something Hill. Bunker Hill. Oh man. How's the weather over there? Huh? Are you tired of being over there on that four acres of land? You want to go live with Dowell? You tell me, Randy, what's going on here, man? Are you sick of it? That's all I'm saying. All I would like to know, on Copper Hill, are you tired of driving down Copper Hill Road? That's what I'm trying to understand. Are you tired of driving down Copper Hill? How's the weather over there, Randy? That's what I want to know. You must want to live with Dowell. You must want to be saddled up with him. You want his girlfriends like a bear, huh? You want to live up under him. You feel me? Want to be like Mother Carol in the back? Randy. Old Pookie over here. Back on his BS. All up in the chat room. But sometimes we gotta just welcome Pookie, man, because you know, Pookie's had a tough time. Come on now. Put down the pipe. Randy, put down the pipe. Boy in here smoking all kind of crack. Smoking all kind of crack in the comment section. Listen, you just gotta be empathetic of his position. He's so pathetic, y'all.
Man's got me, man. I don't got no control over it, man. I try to kick, man. That shit just be calling me, man. Be calling me, man. I just gotta go to it.
Crack be calling you, huh? You can't even control yourself. You gotta jump out here in the comment section, man. Defend your pastor master, your little Papa Dowell. You know, gotta jump out here, man. I guess you one of them dudes that Dowell was sitting up in there talking about that he don't mind walking around in his skivvies, his underwear for.
Come out. Sometimes if it's a man, you may even see me in my underwear. If it's a man, you may even see me in my underwear.
If it's a man, you may even see me in my underwear.
In the nude. Bucket naked. Wasn't no shame in them walking around bucket naked.
Because you're a man.
Because you a man. Ain't no shame in him walking around bucket naked because you a man. You understand what I'm saying? Or while he's stealing the widow's money, right? Got Randy in his crib walking around all in his skivvies. You know what I'm saying? Confidence. Confidence is key, Dowell. Confidence is key, Randy. Oh, man. What else this dude talk about? Like, share, sub. Make sure you click the notification bell too, Randy. You probably already got it clicked. Never mind. I was looking at the house route. Okay, yeah. There you go. Warsheep, keep it up. I got to have something to entertain me. Yeah, well, you know, if you're entertained, hopefully you are entertained, Randy. Hopefully you're entertained. Hopefully right now you're on your way and you're driving down Copper Hill. You know, you're sipping on whatever you drink, a White Claw, whatever the hell you drink, you know, the things that forms vaginas for men. Yeah, you're drinking one of those beverages and you're headed on Copper Hill and you're on your way home, you know, listening to this broadcast. And I appreciate you for tuning in, Randy. I appreciate you for engaging. You understand what I'm saying? 2 years now. Yeah. Waiting on the receipts on me, brother. Receipts on you. What are you talking about? You tried to pimp out a daughter of Zion. You tried to pimp this daughter of Zion out, tried to use her as a sex slave. Then not only that, you tried to get her high on marijuana. These are all things that are listen, receipts wise. People have testimonies in regards to these things. That's all I'm saying. These things have happened. You have eyewitnesses. You have people who testified against you and said these are the things that you were doing, Randy. So you got the nerve to talk about other people, but really, look at what you're doing. Look at who you are. Look what type of things that you've done. And let ye without sin do what? Cast the first stone. Why did your ex-wife leave you? Why'd she leave you? I can tell you that my ex-wife left and she wanted to come back. That's actually what made her bitter, is that I wouldn't receive her back. She wanted to come back, but I wouldn't receive her back. I told her no. Why did your wife want to get the hell away from you and never return? But we got a lot to say, Randy, Pookie. We got a lot to say, Pookie. We got a lot to talk about, Pookie. Your best bet was just to duck, tuck tail, and just hide right at this point. Because the more receipts actually unfold about you, Covenant Homestead, that whole thing. Listen, I know you're trying to make more videos, brother, but honestly, the thing's not lifting off of the ground. My thing is that you be buried by the receipts. Your character has already been revealed and exposed when you came onto the Warsheep podcast. People could tell that you only cared about your little business. I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to be totally honest with you, Randy. After expenses and after costs, I'm not even talking about taxes. You don't even listen. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt of understanding how to truly do your tax returns to where you can, I guess, avoid taxation, right? Not evading taxes like Mike. right? Mike evade taxes. Okay, he's a tax evader. I'm talking about you, right? Let's say that I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt and you understand how to avoid taxes after your expenses, after all of your costs, whatever. 100K is not a lot in business. It just ain't, sir. Your 100K that you're talking about is more like 30, 50, something around there. Nothing really serious. After all your gas and your expenses and the things that you got to pay for, food, all this other stuff you got to pay for business wise, you're not making much, bro. So I understand you being happy, but 100K, okay. Well, at least you were able to accomplish that. And I'm not knocking you for it. I think that it's a valid thing. I think that being a business owner is not a easy thing to do. I believe that it's something that could be difficult, but I just don't go around boasting about it. You're very arrogant in what you've done. And so that arrogance is disgusting, honestly, especially when it's not that great of an achievement. I mean, it's cool, but it ain't that great of an achievement. And I don't need to go around boasting about anything because I could definitely tell you what I've been able to gross in my first year of business outside of contracting. I promise you, when I was doing contracting for my own personal reasons, why I stopped doing contracting, I transitioned into more financial industry and things like that. Made more money, less labor, right? But my thing is this, right? Even when doing contracting, I promise you, I'm beating you out. And I don't got to boast about it. And I'm not going to tell you anything. But my thing is that there's many people who've already said the same thing about your boasting about whatever you're making with your business. Right? So just keep it to yourself, man. It's like, it's not a big deal. It's not nothing, but this is really what you care about. You don't care about anything else. So you talk about the things you care about. You don't care about people's soul. So you don't talk about what would help them make it through all of these gauntlets of false teachers. You don't talk about the scriptures that will help them keeping their sights focused on the Most High, keeping their sights focused on Yeshua, tapping into the Holy Spirit, staying locked in with the Holy Spirit. Those aren't the conversations you're looking to have. The most conversation you're looking to have is about Pastor Rufus or myself. That's the most conversation you're looking to talk about. These people they're not interested in anything else. So that's what I'm saying, Randy. Come on, Pookie. We got to cut it out. We got to cut it out now. We got to cut it out. And so let's see. If you hold on a sec, let me get myself in a certain position. Boom. All right, cool. Let's do it. Brack, if you want Randy on for a rematch, then drop the link. Oh, does the Randy want to click the link? Sure, I don't mind. Sure, I'll drop the link now. Anybody wants to come up and join, then I will drop the link right now. I just assume that they be running like they tuck tail. They don't like to get up here and talk because once they start talking, man, they get spanked. You know what I'm saying? They don't like to get up here and talk. They don't like to get up here and talk. They don't like to do it in person. They don't like to do none of that. So I just kind of assumed, I'm very content. Never wanted to build that house anyways. All the saints already knew that. That's why it sold quickly. All praises. Hallelujah. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, yeah, that's when you don't bind yourself to the things of this world. You can easily be able to pick up and say, you know what? Yeah, we're going to let that go. You understand what I'm saying? First is Kabir. Now it's Randy. Yeah, come on now. Tito and Jackson going to be up next, y'all. They're going to be sending Michael, Tito, Jackson. The whole Jackson 5 is going to be coming through, y'all. King of Baker. Oh, Baker. Bless you. Yeah. Randy front me a gram. Come on now. Yeah, boy. Pookie out here wilding. Now Randy wants Kabir spot. Come on now. Mother Carol in the back. Brandon, even worse than thou. The souls of saints is entertainment to him. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy to even say. That's crazy to say, man. Man, he's just entertainment. Okay, great. I'm glad you're entertained, Randy. Take off the damn cowboy hat, all right? I mean, nobody's fooled. I'm not too sure what you're trying to prove by wearing it. He's really wearing this cowboy hat too, like it's giving something, like he's actually achieving and accomplishing a look. Boy, you still look like Pookie. Ain't nothing changing that. Why does Randy look like a ghetto version of Super Mario? Man, listen, it's because he raggedy. How is Randy so busy and got time to make videos left and right? That's what I be wondering about a lot of these individuals who claim to be business owners. I be wondering that. Like, how y'all say that y'all got so busy and y'all so tired, but yet y'all always on here running your mouth? I don't get it, man. You're so busy, so tired. I'll make time for what I do. I make time for it. I don't never say that I'm too busy to get on here and expose some truth and talk about a lot of these situations. And I will never say that I am too busy because I work it into my schedule. It ain't no man who's too busy to come on here and do this. I promise you. It's either they just lazy. Let me just say that. Let me just say that. If you can't do it, and you're just being lazy about it. It is, you can do it if you truly wanted to. If you wanted to put forth the effort to do it. Man, I got some videos that I pre-shoot and I drop at 5 a.m. in the morning, or I pre-shoot it at night and then I release it in the morning. You get what I'm saying? Or some other time. But I've been still out doing stuff and working on stuff and doing all this other, you know what I mean? I got a lot of stuff that I'll be doing, but I still make time. When I'm driving, if I'm just, traveling and I'm, riding shotgun or something, I'll sit there and I'll be working on a video, editing a video right there from my phone while I'm just, waiting to get to the next destination or whatever, because we're either working jobs or we're going out doing whatever. If I'm not driving, I'm working on a video all at the same time. I'm working on a thumbnail. I'm working on this edit. I'm working on that, but I'm killing a couple birds. So before I get to this meeting, I've already gotten halfway done with a video, or I finished it and completed it, depending on how far, we got to drive, right? Got to eat to the guts. Yeah. Does Randy even eat, or is the blitzing days on end? Like, I don't know. Where's the food go? Because it definitely doesn't reflect. That's the reason why I say that the boy's got to be on some pipe. That's just like, all right, Randy, come out to play. Come on, man. You know he's not finna come on here, man. Randy ain't coming on here, man. I done tanned his little hide. He probably hurt behind the crack pipe joke. He thinks I got it from Pastor Rufus. Listen, this is an original. This is a Warsheep original, Randy. Honestly, tell you the truth, right? I can't give I give credit what credit is due, and I can't give it to Pastor Rufus, but but if he did give me the joke, then I would give him credit. You understand what I'm saying? Now, Pastor Rufus say some funny shit. You understand what I'm saying? He's definitely got some jokes. You get what I'm saying? But that's a Warsheep original right there. They're spying on us, so they give Dow something to talk about it on Drunk Talk this week. Yeah, I'm curious if he even mentioned it. Like, if he's smart, he'd just mind his business. He just keep his mouth shut. Honestly, tell you the truth, while we're running through the filth. Because honestly, this ain't gonna be the only time I report on this. He's trying to pull off the Django. But Zero Passer Massa not gonna let him go. Nah. No Hawk. Come on now. With the no Hawk. Randy dropped your hat. Man, come on now. Man, this is hey. And it is what it is. I mean, stay out the comment section, bro. Go find something safe to do, Randy. Okay. Go find something safe to do. That's the best advice I can give you right now. Is for you to go find something safe to do, bro. Because this ain't it. this ain't it. You know, I'm just saying Copper Hill is probably mighty fine right now. So just enjoy Copper Hill. Show more stuff on your Copper Hill, right? Show more stuff on it. Show off more of your. Hopefully, you've built a little bit more on Copper Hill, and you can show more of your homestead, because that's what your name of your channel is, right? Covenant Homesteader. Man, let's get some homesteading going, Randy. Let's get some homesteading going. I mean, I understand you're trying to kick the pipe. I know you're trying to put it down. But let's get some homesteading going. That way we can see what you're doing, right? Be inspired by the homesteading, be inspired by the atmosphere and the nature and the birds chirping, and you out there, you know, building on that 4 acres you got. You know what I'm saying? Like, good job, bro. Just let's get some homesteading, right? Let's get some homesteading. Redefining, hats off. All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and land this plane here, man. I really appreciate you guys for joining me here at the Warsheep Podcast. And like I said before, listen, we need maximum effort from you guys. All right. So don't forget to like this video, and don't forget to comment and subscribe and share. We need maximum effort. Yeah. So let's give this maximum effort, y'all.
Maximum effort.
You who are here hating on me, feel free. Feel free.
If there's any haters in here right now that don't have nobody to hate on, feel free to hate on me. Sit back there and say my hair ain't luxurious when you know it is, bitch.
All right, y'all. As always, be blessed. Peace. And shalom, shalom. See you guys in the next one, all right?